drama. I whoop that ass like Michael Obama. Yeah, I got that big D energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whoop that ass like Michael Obama.
No, Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
Like a llama. I whip that thing out like Michael Obama.
We already had it with
I got that
Obama.
big
So
energy.
let's just calm down.
Nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. I'm a girl, 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 I'm a whip them thing out like Michael Obama. I got that big energy. Ain't nobody wanna step like me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I whip that ass like Michael Obama. Ain't got that clip, bitch. Hung like a llama. I whip that dick out. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. Know too much, get left in the ditch. CIA scratches, its clicks getting itch. Yeah, I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. Wiki leaking, now you're thrown into a ditch. You wish the simulation had a glitch. You wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. Know too much, get left in the ditch. CIA scratches, its clicks getting itch. Yeah, I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. Wiki leaking, now you're dome into a ditch. You wish the simulation had a glitch. You wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. Wiki leaking out your dome into a ditch. You wish the simulation had a glitch. You wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. I wanna be rich, but not Seth rich. We wanna be rich, but not Seth rich.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa.
Constantly explore the room of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Which is where those bigger mistakes, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Which is where those mysteries
up yourselves. Brap, brap, brap. Happy Father's Day out there, and welcome to Sunday Ladies Night. You know how we do on Sundays for a secret society of good guys meeting. Thank you for
Good
joining
gals.
us.
The good gals.
Thank you for joining us.
Happy
Make sure
Father's
you
Day.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to anyone out there on Rumble or either of the YouTube channels or on X if you're into hanging out in chat rooms. The Project Chaney chat seems like there might be people in it. If you're missing people or if you see stuff come up on the bottom of the screen, but we all will answer any of your questions throughout the night if you have any. So put it anywhere and I will pull it up if we're chatting about it. So now you guys go ahead. Sing Happy Father's Day in a raspy, sexy voice, like Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
No. It's just for Mr. It's only for Mr. Donald Trump. I don't know his dads. I don't know if they're good dads. I don't know if they're bad dads. But happy Father's Day. Mwah. Love you guys.
Happy Father's Day. What about you guys with Father's Day? Did you do anything for your dad, Layla?
No, not really. No, just cooked breakfast. Made him a meal. They were out and about with my mom. He was out and about with my mom, so they had their day. And I was sleeping all day. I had migraines all day. So,
Oh no.
yeah, it's just that kind of day.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, weird, weird. Did you
Yeah.
do anything, Abby, for Father's Day?
Well, I don't have a father, but I was going to go get my husband something last night, but I had like thoracic spine. I have thoracic nerve issues where it hit right as I was going to my car and I knew it was starting. So I like ran into my house to take ibuprofen because it helps, but it like shoots all the way up my spine and then goes all the way around my shoulder and up my jaw. So like it's kind of scary because it feels like a heart attack, but I know what it is. It's not that. It's just thoracic nerve issues. But so no, I didn't do shit. I was home. Like it makes me cry, and I didn't cry in childbirth. That's how bad it hurts.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks. I
Yeah, that's
imagine it
horrible.
probably felt a lot like my spleen exploding. I just imagine it to feel like that because I have this thing that once your organs hurt inside or if they're having like a nerve spasm, it all must feel the same, like a heart
Yeah.
attack, a liver, a kidney. It's like your body only has one pain sense that comes out of your center. So if it's something that hits those nerves, then I just imagine it to if it resembles a heart attack,
Yeah. It's
I
the
can't.
worst shit ever. Like tears, I cannot freaking control them. And I have a very high pain threshold. So
Yeah. Sometimes those pains even feel like period cramps. It's not like your period. It's not like you have your period. Certain parts when I was going through whatever the fuck I was going through, it felt like period cramps, like up here. I'm just like, this is so fucking weird. But men don't know what period cramps are, but we do. we
yes,
do.
we do.
Riggs is so funny. That's my stupid sense of humor. Or just out of random Jurassic farts.
It's pretty random.
But then it makes me think
Always
of a whole
clever.
theme park where it's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jurassic farts. And then there's like, ah! But instead of that, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to. Riggs always does it.
He does. I don't know. He
He
gets
will
us
get
into
me right
immaturity.
off track. He like knows my 12-year-old, and I'm like, ha ha ha, farts. I'm off. But
Yeah.
migraines, Layla. I'm sorry you had a migraine today. Are you still experiencing that?
No, but I just took some ibuprofen because when you feel one coming and you're just like, let me get to it before it like gets to me type shit. So I just took
Yep.
some ibuprofen because I know it's coming. And I think it mainly comes from my neck because I have major neck issues. Like I have major neck pains. So I think it's like something needs to get cracked in here, like kurtz, adjusted.
That's where
C1
all
and 2.
migraines come up. they all come up through the nerves and veins through the back of your neck. And so nobody ever thinks about it. When everybody usually gets migraines, you like want to shut your eyes and maybe put peas on your eyes, like some cold compress on your
Hmm.
eyes. I always tell people this. If you experience migraines, have 2 bags of frozen peas inside your freezer all the time. Screw ice packs, screw any of that shit. It's not the right shape for your eyeballs and head. Little peas, little beads are, and they flash freeze these peas so they stay colder longer than anything that you refreeze. Like
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
about the way they flash freeze, they just stay cold forever. I can sleep for 8 hours, wake up, still have cold peas. And I'm never going
Mm.
yeah,
to eat them. So I don't really give a shit what happens to inside them bag. They're just my
agreed.
neck peas. But I put one on my eyes and one on the back of my neck. And I swear, icing your neck will help so much alleviate a migraine.
Oh, for sure. Like I'll have my mom massage the shit out of my neck if I'm experiencing like debilitating
Yeah, debilitating. Yep.
debilitating neck pains, like I can't, like headache, and then she'll give me like a nice neck massage and it'll just relieve a lot of it. It's just a lot of balled up tension under the base of the head, you know? That's where it all comes. Right there.
I got a address Soldier Boy one in the chat. He keeps going, how do you not have a father? Like you how'd you get here? And then whether you like your father or not, you still have one. No, both my father and my stepfather are dead. I don't have
Yeah.
one. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wasn't.
Thanks for bringing it up.
To
I
clarify,
my
when people
father
are
has
dead, you don't
passed
have to
away.
celebrate Father's Day, right? Do you celebrate Father's
I
Day, Jenny?
I do a little bit. It is my dad is also expired. And
Expired.
he is no longer in flesh. He has left his flesh suit. And one of the things I do, my dad loved Frank Sinatra, and he just loved certain things. Like he loved peanut M&Ms. He loved Whitney Houston movies. He loved a dirty martini up with olives. Like little things. So something I try to honor him on his birthday, Father's Day, by doing something he would have loved. And
I love
so
that.
today I started off my day. I did not want to, I worked today. And so I could have just been crabby. I was going to work on a beautiful sunny Florida day. But instead, I started off my day with My Way by Frank Sinatra. And then when I pulled up at work, I was still listening to Frank. And one of my coworkers, he was like, "Oh, I like that. Every time I hear Frank, it makes me feel good." And then
Mm,
my boss was like, "We can listen to Frank today." And I was like, "Oh." So I put
Ooh,
on Frank
okay.
Sinatra and then just let Spotify make a radio mix of it. And I loved it. And so much of the songs, every person that came in, they loved it too. It was like,
nice.
so I felt a little bit of just from like me honoring my dad with Frank, but this whole music that everybody had a little sense of their own nostalgia. And so, yeah, it's all
Well,
right. Father's Day.
ironically, I dreamt about my dad last night, like my stepdad, because he's the one who raised me. But I dreamt that I was showing my daughter, talking to my daughter about a bayonet. I was like, oh, black powder rifle, and then all of a sudden my dad was there. I was like, Dad, grab the black powder rifle. So he grabs it out and everything, and then he's got like this thing of like black powder, and I was like, why? But it wasn't black powder. It looked like little polished stones, and I was like, and like gummy candy, and I was like, what is that, Dad? And he was like, well, that's what it looks like in its raw form. I was like, oh, okay, bet. Such a fucking weird dream. But I did dream about him.
Weird. Before Father's Day.
Yeah.
Was your stepdad special to you?
Yeah. Um, he was he's been there since I was a little kid. Like my real dad abandoned me. So like I met him as an adult and it was really cool, um but my stepdad was the one who raised me. So I was also treated like his stepdaughter up until we made amends in my adulthood, but there was always love there.
When
Yeah.
he died, do you feel like this is what I notice people do sometimes? And it's kind of, it hurts me for people when other humans do this. You're like, oh, my father died. You're going through the loss of this, or even grief on the anniversary, or when you think about him on his birthday. And then somebody says to you, like, oh, but that was your stepfather.
Yeah, you're like, no, they're your dad. Like
It's
they're the one who took
so
care of you.
fucking rude. It's
Yeah,
so rude. You have no idea what people's relationships are to people. And so just the idea when people are like, "Oh, that's your mom, that's your dad, those are your things." And it's like, you don't know, like when somebody's like, "Oh, this is the anniversary of my grandma's death." And whatever you dealt with your grandma's death, you don't know that that lady's grandma didn't raise her.
yeah,
So
that
it's
could
just
be their
like,
mom.
yeah, so even sometimes these ways that we assume we have a relationship in our life, we automatically assume other people or the way we've seen it on TV. So we hear these words like stepdad or stepmom, and then people just totally like take away any of your opportunity to grieve or like belittle, like, oh, well, my real dad's dead, Abby. So I'm sorry about your stepdad.
Yeah,
Mm.
Like, it's just a weird thing that humans do.
it is. It's like nobody.
Well,
You don't
humans
understand
are
the
weird.
intricacy of relationships. Yeah, they
Dude,
are weird.
humans are so fucking weird. This whole experience is weird. I don't know if it's any less weird, even if you were in an ancient tribe, like sitting like with your knees like all up and just like sitting like in the middle of the dirt. I don't know if that'd be less weird than me laying on my couch watching a box of other people lay on their couch.
Mm.
Like it just feels like it doesn't matter what the job is. It all seems weird to me. Like air traffic controller. I'm so stressed. I got to get the planes in. I got to get the plane. I sell marijuana for a living legally in a state that's federally illegal, which is essentially the same thing I did through college. It's always been federally illegal. But now for some reason, because my state says it's okay, this is what I do for a job. Even though at any moment the Fed could just come in and decide today's the day that this isn't allowed to happen. It's so crazy.
It is crazy. I mean,
It's crazy.
everything that we do as humanity is just fucking bizarre. When you think about it deeply, it's like, oh, we have this experience, and miraculously we're here living this reality, but we're doing things for what purpose? Like, what is the ultimate purpose here? Because we all have one fate, and nobody wants to talk about that. So, what do we do here that we're not doing right, but should be doing?
If Gordy's in the chat room right now, which he might not be yet, but if he is, just remind
He was.
everyone the one thing that we all share. Just write it in the chat. The one thing that's going to happen to all of us. You can write it however you see fit, but Gordy knows, and everybody watching, you're all going to die one day. There's
Mhm.
nothing you can do about it. You're all really going to die one day. This is like really this truth. And everybody's faith and everyone's debate. Why am I going to fight with you, shoot your family because you don't believe the way I believe when you die? It doesn't, it is the wildest thing
Bizarre.
ever.
Chaney, I swear I have these
So much
moments.
of today, I just was like, all of human existence is retarded, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
it
everything
is.
we do, what are we up to? Just driving and stopping at signs.
That's so weird, is it not?
And taking down signs because apparently they offend people. Did you guys hear about that? The whole
No.
removal of the U-turn in California because it is homophobic, and some other signs it was like offending people, the trans community or
Oh my
something like
gosh.
that.
You guys, let's just talk about this for 1 minute. We're going to cover our beautiful little mugs for 1 second. And we're just going to look at the Secret Society of Good Guys logo right here.
Period.
You see the U-turn? You know why? Because it's okay to change your fucking mind. Of course,
Absolutely.
California wants you to
Yeah,
no like, fucking U-turn. Isn't that so funny?
it's
Did you
so
guys ever
crazy.
watch what was it, Weeds?
No, I
Yes,
haven't.
Mary
Did
Louise
you see,
Parker.
and then she gets the U-turn tattoo because the guy who kind of teaches her how to freaking be a good dealer, his name, like his street name was U-turn, so she ended up getting a U-turn tattoo.
Hmm.
That I won't go into a whole weeds thing, but that was one of these shows that I thought started out like fucking blue flame. It was so good,
Fire, right?
and
Yeah,
then fucking fell flat on its face.
it
Like,
did. It ended
ugh.
so shitty. All
It had
all that
such
end
a
was
good
shit.
premise. They had a good cast. They had a good everything was set up for them, and then they tried to like do some fairy tale shit. They didn't have to go. They could have just kept her dealing weed to soccer moms. It would have been an interesting show. Like they didn't have to go all kingpin with her. Stop that nonsense. No one would have respected that bitch. Please stop. She was sitting in rooms with like El Chapo and shit. Get out of here. No one.
Yeah.
Get out of here. She wasn't that hot.
Every time I think about like when I've got to pee on the road, though, I think about her freaking peeing in that Starbucks cup. Did you see that episode?
I don't remember it like that.
She sits and drinks her freaking. Oh, I don't know. I just remember certain things stood out to me, like her
I
pissing in
know.
a cup with a fucking car full of drugs coming back across the Mexican border.
You know how she is one of these people, like, it doesn't matter how much money someone has. Like, she's a famous actress. Same
Yeah.
as Juliette Lewis. Some people just feel like white trash, even if they like.
They
I'm
do.
sure these people could buy and sell me, but Mary Louise Parker just feels a little trashy.
What was her character on Fried Green Tomatoes? She was in that one too.
She wasn't fried green tomatoes. She was like a mid character, like the mid version of one of the
She's
characters.
the girl that Tawanda was in love with, or whatever, pretty much.
Tawanda Forever.
Oh yeah,
That is
that character.
Steel Magnolias.
Ruth.
See, I watched Steel Magnolias so much that like I just watched Fried Green Tomatoes of recent, like when I had cancer, because my Maria would be like, "You haven't seen Fried Green Tomatoes?"
That's
I
when
was
you
like,
first watched it?
yeah. And I was
Wow.
like, I
How'd you-
seen
how'd you
pieces
like
of
it?
it. I
Like,
loved
right?
it. Like I
Mhm.
loved it. I seen pieces of it my whole life. I always just assumed I watched it, but maybe like I don't know. Like I don't know. So and she's like, "You haven't watched it? You have to watch this." So yeah, and I still don't recall all of it. I watched it with my chemo brain.
Mm,
So
you should
I need
watch
to
it
watch it
again.
again. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely in the Southern
I
movie
watched
like
it
top
3 or 4
5.
times. It's so good. It's like one of those
Yeah.
movies that just makes you feel at home for some reason. Like when you watch it, it's just like a cozy
It
good
gives you the
movie.
good cry too, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, for sure.
A good cry. Do you think that is something that really is in existence? Like sometimes, like the same way, like you need a good workout session or a good meal or good sex. You need sometimes just a good cry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cleaning out your lung and small intestine meridian. It's important to do it. And I feel like tears get trapped in your like they're associated with memories a lot of the time, but sometimes like have you ever felt like you were so near tears but you had no idea where the tears were coming from, like a deep well of emotion?
Yeah.
And you're like, why do I feel like this? Like I think your body's just telling you it needs to purge a little bit. So it's cleaning those meridians. So it
Dancing
doesn't
does
always
it for
even have to
me.
be
I love it when I need to like release. Crying is great, but sometimes I need like a
dancing is
physical
awesome.
release. Yeah, it's just like
Can
sweat
we
it
go
off,
clubbing
dance it
too? When
off.
what was the other
Yeah,
thing we were
let's
gonna
Oh,
do?
do
for your
it.
21st birthday,
For my
you're not gonna
21st
know.
birthday. Yes.
You're
Okay.
not gonna know what me and Layla
Titty
have planned for
bar.
your 21st
Okay.
birthday. Me and
Yeah, we'll
Awesome.
Layla
do
are
that.
gonna
Oh, do you
plan
want to
your whole
dance?
21st birthday. Don't
All
worry
right,
about it.
nice.
We got you.
Oh my
We'll
god,
have
I'm so
fun.
excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun your 21st birthday, and it's not gonna be on your real birthday day.
Yeah,
Well,
It's gonna
no,
be
it's
a
gotta be
whole
my
Abby's
unbirthday.
21st birthday
yeah,
is gonna be a whole separate event that maybe it'll be so good it'll happen every year at a meetup.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Like maybe it'll be the first part of our meetup. Because
And
if
it's
we're gonna do the go
the
on.
only time we need to like just have Ubers available. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
have a good ass motherfucking time, and just
Yeah.
like yeah.
I'm gonna be
I
real
feel that.
honest though with you. You're all grown. I don't if we go somewhere, I'm not responsible for your grown
No,
ass drinking, your Uber or nothing. Like you three,
Yeah.
this room right here, the three of us sitting in this room, I'll make sure you guys get to where you need to get safe. But all you other grown-ups that are coming to hang out with us, I ain't promising you that. I ain't promising
sorry,
you that. And if you
so
guys
sorry.
meet ever Becky Brittany Spears, she won't promise you that either. She'll leave you right in a bar. She ain't
Ah,
Shout out
promising you
Becky.
that. It's fine. It's fine. Like we all only could take what energy we can take. And when we're done, I think it's okay to be done. I think we have
yeah,
to hit this new point too on Father's Day that we're gonna big up all the big ass good fucking dads, the
yeah,
providers, the supporters, the ones who show up enough, and they have the women that they listen to like cackling hens, but they protect their right to say the things. Like,
Yeah.
big up to those guys. Big up to all the guys that are raising other men to be other good men, and big up to the guys that are still soft with their little girls, because they need a hug
Yes.
too sometimes. Sometimes you
Yes.
need to tell your little girl you're proud of them. Like, sometimes you just need to tell her
Yeah.
it's different. I
You're
I
her
feel
first
like
love.
yeah, the
Yeah.
way that you treat her is going to be what every man will have to live up to forever. And so you have to set such a good example, like my dad did, that I'm like, huh, why? I mean, I had such a good man. I might as well just start dating women.
Mhm.
JK, 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 everyone out there, JK. But for real, to all the good dads out there, I think it's just as important that we all collectively no longer allow the guys that are not providers, protectors, supporters, alphas at all. They're not anyone in the clique. They don't protect the village. We aren't allowed them to keep saying that they do. We aren't allowed to pretend they're showing up when they're not. We're not allowed. So what? You threw your kid in the pool once a year. You're not dad of the fucking year. So what? You bought your kid one gift at Christmas. You're not a dad of the year. Everyone needs to stop pretending you are. And so
Yeah.
I think it's really up to the dads that are showing up to tell those other motherfuckers to shut the fuck up, because there's so many of them out there that aren't showing up at all. And we all know this to be true. But I'm not going to bag on men on Father's Day. I want to big up the good men out there, because there's so many of you too. Because if there wasn't good men still out there, thank you. Thank God for good men with guns. So three bitches like us can sit like this in a place like America without masks on and say, fuck President Biden. So
Yeah.
big
Maybe
up
that's why I dreamt
yourself.
about my dad with a gun, man.
And big ups to the
Dads with
fathers
guns.
who play both mother and father roles, because they are shitty women out there who've done bad things, and we
True.
know that. So, like, big up to you.
Oh, she froze.
Oh, I thought it was mine. I was like, dang it.
No, she froze, but when she comes back, we'll let her finish. But that's so true. There's some deadbeat moms, and it's so crazy how much our society will like single mom, single mom, single mom, single mom, and single dads never get the big up.
No,
Like,
no, they don't. And it's sad because, like,
I don't
that's
know what
like,
happened there.
even, did
well,
you
we'll
want to
let you
finish?
finish. Yeah, you just froze in the middle of it.
What,
So you were
what did I
talking
say?
about deadbeat, because there's just as many deadbeat.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
some deadbeat moms out there, and
Yeah. So, big up to you guys. Like, because, you're taking the role of both mother and father. And to show that much appreciation and care for your children, to not let them suffer in life, like, kudos to you guys, because not many people see that, because a lot of women go through that, but there's also men who go through that. So big up to you guys, because we see you, we know you
yeah, we do
exist.
see you. And
Yeah.
so sometimes yeah, I sometimes we to me I am harsh on dudes, because my heart was broken by a certain amount of them not showing up. And
Yes.
it was like I'd never had my heart broken by men before, and I didn't even know it was possible. And so when my whole country stood down, even though they all knew the election was stolen, even though they all knew COVID was bullshit, even though they all knew that, it's like they can't feed their kids, even though they all know, it's like no matter, they all know, they all know, they all know, it's like, gosh, this is the only thing they did. I'm going to pick up this microphone and tell you guys I know. And so that part of me, it broke my heart. And so that I looked around, because my heart was broken by the masses. I didn't see a lot of the good men right in front of my face that were showing up every day, that were doing the damn thing, that were cleaning their fucking guns, that were, like still like they never wore a mask either and never asked their employees to. They never
Mhm.
asked their employees to vax. Like the dudes that still had businesses, and they still, had to go inside people's houses, and still didn't, they would be like, anyone willing to mask? Like sometimes they still had shit to run. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's tons of good dudes out there, and I've definitely had sour times in my life about it. But they come for you first. And the second strong men are gone, we are just left to be raped, pillaged, and they take us and our children. And I am not too stupid to see how quickly they try to get into our bathrooms, get into our pools, get into our
Yep.
locker rooms. So
Yep.
imagine if that's what I see them wanting to do to the 3 grown of us. Look what they're trying to do to our kids, those same creeps. So
Yeah.
I
It's
do like that
wild.
there's the good ones out there. Like the fact that,
Yeah.
that we still are here, it means there's good ones out there.
I
Yep.
posted a video on my Instagram of like Happy Father's Day of that man who waited outside by the payphones to kill the guy who raped his daughter in the 70s or the 80s, I believe.
Big up them.
Yeah, big
Big
up him.
up that
He
guy.
came past by, right in the dome. That's daddy right there. That's a
There's
good
been,
dad.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
like that's where natural law comes in, where there is some part of the Bible that I'm just like, nah, thou shall not kill though. I don't know. I don't know. So then it's okay if only we let certain governments decide who to kill. And the governments are all full of the people that actually need to be taken because they're tyranny and rapists and pedophiles and every bad word, traitors and treasonous. They need to be killed. They need to be hung. And so if you guys don't want the karmic weight, I have said it before and I'll say it again. I will pull the levers. I don't care. I will do this all again. I don't care. If I have to live in the 3D one more life, I will do it to pull
You
the
know,
levers this life. I'll win a
I,
lottery. I'll pay money to pull the levers.
I
And
think if
that's like,
honor was still alive, if honor was still alive and like people, respecting their honor, their face, self-respect, and the honor behind their words, their actions and their face should be part of like the human society in a good way. That's what Besa is. We talked about it before in the Kanun. Like we have certain rules. Like if you don't stand behind your word and you're a shitty person, you're not in town. You're going to live like a hobo somewhere because you're going to be exiled. You're not a human being and we will not look at you as a human being. But that honor has died. Honor, I believe. Because there's not much of it anymore.
Is what is the 10 commandment, Abby? Is it thou shalt not murder?
I don't know the actual Hebrew, like what it was, but it's written in most of the modern translations as "Thou shalt not kill." But I mean, where's the distinction though? Because if it's premeditated and you're going to kill somebody because of what they did to somebody else, would that not still be considered murder? It would by the
Yeah.
law, right? But here's the thing. Here's my issue with it. So the 10 Commandments was given to Moses, and that was while they were, roaming the desert for 40 years. And while they're roaming the desert for 40 years, Moses was told he would never enter the promised land. So Moses dies. Then Joshua takes over as the lead of the Israelites, and they enter the promised land. But as they do that, they have to march around every city that they take, like for 7 days. And then he blows a trumpet, and God tells them that they have to kill every person in there and destroy every artifact. Like they can't keep anything. They can't keep food. They can't keep like any of their, like none of their, what we would call artifacts now. They had to destroy it all. And if they didn't, like, and for one or two of the cities that they captured, they didn't destroy everything. So they were killing people by God's order. I'm not being an advocate for like y'all sick fucks that are like wanting to do serial killer shit. That's just not okay. Or to kill your wife or whatever. That's not okay. But I'm saying it
You
is a
know,
contradiction.
and also, I just have to throw out, since you said serial killer, that there's no such thing as a serial killer. That's a CIA creation, and probably most of the serial killers are just CIA.
They're
That
just
is my real
fake.
belief. There is no. It's like every single one of the serial killers was there to either shut down a city, build up a police force, fear people into their house for a certain reason, change
Yeah.
a law, get the FBI to come into a state where it wasn't allowed before. It's like all of that shit's bullshit. Even your Mindhunter shit of the FBI showing you that stuff on pretty much everything on Netflix is just like some rewrite of history or like propaganda bullshit. But everything you see on TV, but it's just funny that people think they choose the show for themselves or that it's called documentary and it's real.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
like Ted Bundy escaping 3 times, what the fuck is that even? Like, is that even plausible?
Or it's just, I mean, from Charles Manson to the Unabomber to who isn't a Berkeley experiment? Who isn't
Well, and it's
somehow
John Wayne
attached to,
Gacy to like to freak people out about gayness or something or what? Like
or
gay
look at
men?
the ones they can't figure out who they were at all. But it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, how about we just make up a serial killer that we can never find? But this way, it rinses the police department of any wrongdoings, any mishandlings of cases, any. This was all serial killer. It also, if there's a certain person that's trying to run for bigger politics, that they have a serial killer that they capture in their area, that they put 3 to 4 unsolved murders together, and then all of a sudden they're the one that come out and capture it. It gives them a big name to run for office. It's all
Yeah. Oh
bullshit.
yeah. Good
There's
point.
so much bullshit. Dude, it's just like, the amount of bullshit, just like driving in my car, it just feels like we are in insanity world. Like we're just in insanity world. And to what end are we in the insanity world? Like even when people are like, well, they're going to do it to us again. They're going to make us mask up. I don't know what this us thing is. Do you have a turd in your pocket? I'm never masking up ever in my life. Ever, ever, ever. So these things when people are like, meow, they're gonna do it. Here it comes. I'm like, how many times have they given us 18 different other COVID since COVID, monkeypox since COVID, uh, how many bird flus,
Bird
how many
flu.
mad cows, how many things? People aren't doing it anymore. They're not doing it anymore. Like they're on to the new stupid thing. That's the part, right? When you think like, okay, they're learning something, like they're here. The amount of people that I'm like, this, you're CNN and Fox. Like to me, I'm like, why are CNN and Fox telling us this? Why are these today? I lost something off my Instagram from April 2022. It said, we're removing your story from April 2022. Now,
A
I thought
story
a
too.
story. I thought my stories only stayed up for 24 hours. It said it was nudity, bullying, harassment. It was a picture of Hunter Biden in a red scarf. So that lets me know they're taking down all the Hunter Biden stuff. Why? Hunter Biden's in court right now. They don't want normal people looking that shit up. They can't get to my account because I mess up the narrative. So they have to take down Hunter Biden. What did they do to the Secret Society of Good Guys and all of our channels? Oh, we talked about Fauci too much. We got so shadow banned and blocked everywhere. Huh? Who's on trial right now? Dr. Fauci. They don't want normal people coming and looking up and finding this stuff. So it's just like if they're going back to 2022 to Hunter Biden, I'm like, oh, this narrative, this narrative seems weird. And it even seems extra crazy to me that we're all on X all the time and no one thinks Elon has anything from Twitter. There's no proofs. Like Obama put out, Happy Father's Day. And then Elon wrote, Happy Father's Day, Obama. And I'm like, Obama ain't a dad of no children. Like, this to be
We know
true.
that.
Yeah.
We know that. Some people don't even think that the whole conspiracy of Michelle is even obvious. They're
What is
still not
this?
at that point.
Just look. We need
Go
Summer
ahead.
to show all the Michael penis pictures she has in her phone, in one of her magic phones. It's
I'm going to show
profound.
you because I thought this was somebody said, did you guys see the Biden mask? And so I was like,
Rocky.
have you guys ever seen a movie called The Mask with Cher? But I don't know if you guys have seen the new picture of Biden. I'm going to put it in Biden
I have not.
mask. These are hard search terms just so you guys can find. I just like what stuff comes up. Let's see, media. There was a brand new of him, like, oh, this one. Boom.
Oh, it's melting.
Look at that, y'all.
That's awful.
That's your
That's awful.
president.
He's a shapeshifter, apparently.
I want to zoom in.
Yeah, look at the eyes. That's just
It reminds me of that movie, The Witches, where like Angelica Houston's taking off her mask.
That is some creepy shit. That
That's fake.
pedophile runs our country. That is some wild shit to me. He in this picture or this day because it was at Juneteenth, I think. Which I'm gonna be real. I did not even know Juneteenth was a holiday until like 2020.
20. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like all of like I'm so like
Okay.
even this timeline I'm like you guys I know if you watch the show you're aware of this. I'm from the timeline where the Mississippi flows in the other direction. There was also no Juneteenth on my timeline.
I don't remember
Well,
it.
speaking of that, like I had never heard of it either. I remember being in like all the history classes and all of that. Um and I graduated from the same school as my sister. My sister is such a virtue signaler though. So like our mom's friend posted something on Facebook before I left Facebook and she had said, "What the hell is Juneteenth? I've never even heard of it." My sister gets in the comments like, "You are so racist. You are so wrong for that." And I was like, "You went to the same high school as I did. I know for a fact you've never heard about Juneteenth. Do not act like that. It's so wrong." And yeah, I don't mind talking shit on my
Didn't
sister.
Donald Trump introduce that to everybody and made it an official holiday? And then in the next year, the Democrats said that, oh, we're making it an official holiday, but it was actually Donald Trump who did.
I
I
think it
feel
was
like
only a holiday in Texas.
yeah, a Texas holiday. Let's look it up. We should all learn right now what Juneteenth is
Yeah, it
since
was a
it's
Texas
here.
thing.
Even though I
So if
feel
you were
like
from Texas, you probably heard about it, but everybody else, none of the rest of the country heard about it.
I didn't
what
know. And
is
I grew up in New York City. Like, it was a melting pot.
Yeah.
Juneteenth, officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day, is a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the ending of slavery in the United States. It is also called Jubilee Day. What else is called Jubilee Day, motherfuckers?
Ooh, the
The
day of
motherfucking
Jubilee.
Queen Day, right? Isn't that the thing with the Queen?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely a thing with Israel too, with the Jews.
We are going to pull it up and
Because
we're going to
in
look up
the
Jubilee Day right now because this is probably a burying of history somewhere. So formerly enslaved people in Galveston rejoiced after General Order Number 3 1 year later on June 19th, 1866. Freedman in Texas organized the first of what became annually commemorating of Jubilee Day. Early celebrating were used as political rallies to give voting instructions.
Hmm.
So why is this the only one we can find? I'm going to write Judaism.
yeah,
Because
the
they're
year of
burying
Jubilee. It's
Google
every
with this for
7 years, and
a
every
reason.
49 years is a Jubilee year, and every 7 years is a Jubilee, like a little mini
Jubilees
The
are
Jubilee.
reset.
Jewish year of Jubilee, or Yafel in Hebrew, is a 50-year period of economic, cultural, environmental, and communal renewal that occurs after 7 cycles of 7-year sabbatical years. The first reference to the Jubilee is in Leviticus 25, where Yahweh instructs the Israelites to keep free from slavery by instituting a Sabbath year every 7 years. The Jubilee year is intended to be a time for rest, forgiveness, debts are forgiven, freedom, slaves are freed and returned to their communities, and misappropriated land is returned. Equality, social equality is promoted. Relationship with God and others and creation is reestablished. Now, just looking at this, if this is something that happened in Jewish culture, equality of like freeing slaves and giving back land and debt forgiveness, pretty hard to fucking do when you're the ones that own all that shit. You're taking all the land. Like was a big problem in Germany before World War II, is like there was all of these Jewish people coming in and stealing the land from the Germans that were around. And so it's just like also all of the bank, the Rothschilds, they're the ones who started debt. This is
Yeah.
That's
it's
what's
like,
happening in Ukraine right now.
bro, it's like no wonder Jubilee Day is buried with Juneteenth all of a sudden. So now when I put it in, something that's been happening for thousands of years in Jewish culture, all of a sudden I found something about Galveston, Texas that's been happening since 1866. Nah, dog. That's history rewrite. I see you, but I also know who runs the media.
It is
Yeah.
Who
because they
runs the
still made it
world?
about slavery. They
Who
still
runs
made
the
it about
world?
slavery, right? Freeing the slaves. It's kind
Yeah,
of
but the Talmud teaches that we're all their slaves and that we're the goyim and that we should bow down to
yeah.
them and worship them and be their slaves.
The look on your face when you said that. You're like,
I know. Anytime Layla says the goyim,
The goy.
you
It's
know.
the goy. The goy.
One time on an episode, I put Secret Society of Good Guys, but I did Secret Society of Good Goys. So if you look
Good
back to
goys.
some of the first episodes, just for being a shit, it says Secret Society of Good Goys.
Mhm.
Just to
We're
be
the
a
good
little
goys.
bit of an asshole. Yep. I don't mind. Whatever you want to call me, that's not the thing. That's fine. I've been called retarded this week.
Ricks.
wow.
Oh
I
God.
know, but that is kind of like
Uh-huh.
I know even that how like even isn't that funny how like they really pushed the word bullying into our zeitgeist? You're a bully. Stop bullying me. Like where even like so much so like it gets better. Remember the stupid celebrities before they were like looking over their corner about their racist jokes or imagining they were like telling kids it gets better. I was bullied in high school too.
Yeah,
They
I was. It does get better, but like thank God for the bullies though. I wouldn't be me without the bullies. Like it toughened me up when I needed to be toughened up. It's like, the world isn't a pretty place and it's not easy either. So this is the real raw world. You're going to deal with all kinds of people. So it's not all butterflies and daisies.
No. And
Uh-uh.
girls can be bitches. Like I wasn't in high school, but 5th grade. That's when the girls start getting nasty. I had a
Mm.
lot of issues there.
Yeah, you know what else could happen too? They've softened everyone up. Bullying does not bullying where you're just picking on one person over and over again, but bring back fist fights to high school, man. Kids need to get punched in the face by each other. Sorry, that sounded really
It's
horrible for an
true.
adult to say, but it's really just that some of these kids are assholes. Assholes. It's like there's no consequence anymore for saying anything. So they're just online saying, you have grown men dressing as babies and being called something. That grown man would not be allowed to walk around in my town because I'm at least going to jump him. That's creepy, crazy shit. And so it's just like there's a certain amount of like, gun violence, like the lure of gang and gun violence and how, oh, guns, there's so many guns and whatever. Bring back fist fights. Bring
The
back
kids
fist
aren't the
fights.
same though. The kids today, when they fight, because they still fight out there, they're not just fighting, they're almost killing kids out there. Like it's not even fighting anymore. Like yeah, they'll bully, but they take things so serious now that they'll go and kill their classmates. Like the rise of killing classmates has even gone up, like for stupid fucking reasons. Oh, she stole my man, or oh, da 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 da. Like just weird shit happening with our youth, and I don't know where it's coming from. Either
Or
it's
just
the
like I am such a like I can't even imagine being such a pussified young man that I run up behind somebody and sucker punch them down.
I
Like, if
know.
see, this is part of the issue though. In my day, if you did that shit, somebody else would fucking beat you
what
down.
you. Mhm.
Be now you're the only hitter. There's only one person who's hitting. Like, and I just feel like, what the hell? Like, if you said the wrong thing to the wrong person, at any moment growing up, you might get hit or you had to defend your own honor or one of your friends' honor or something. There is like this something that has happened that I just am like, this is how somebody talks. Even the internet thing. There's a certain amount of like how much people are affected by anyone saying something shitty online. There's a certain amount of weight that it's just like, but have you ever been hit in the face? That will have no weight if like somebody would say it to your face, but most
I
people
would
are
even say that to your
cowards.
face.
I know. I would say
It's
that to your face.
who said that quote? That marvelous quote.
That pudgy midge.
Fishy mush.
That's what I was actually
Motherfucker.
picturing your dad to say about Father's Day. If you like got him a Father's Day card, he'd be like, "That's for pudgy midge." Father's Day seems gay for your dad. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
time for a Father's Day.
But it's like
Haha,
even
who has
affection
time?
is weird. I'm like, hey, happy Father's Day. And I hug him and his hands are just like down. I'm like, okay. It's like
Awkward.
the affection is just weird in our family. I'm like, we love each other so much, but we don't know how to be affectionate with each other. It's hilarious. Oh,
That
God.
is so funny. Isn't it so
It is
crazy
funny.
how like with your friends, they become like a whole different version of like my family's not super affectionate either. And so it took me some time to become affectionate with my friends. That now I could just
Mhm.
stand by you guys if you were in front of me and doing something that I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," where I could just touch somebody and it not be like cuz in my
Weird.
house we just weren't big touchers.
Like I want
I
to
don't
be. It
think we
just
were either, but I am. I am a toucher.
yeah. Like if I really want to touch somebody, like I'll touch them. Like I'll make like no problem. Like if I'm in that mood, I'll touch. But like with friends and stuff, sometimes I just get awkward. I'm like, "Ugh, this is definitely some kind of childhood shit that is not cleansed yet out of my system. So it takes some warming up to, I guess. I'm just, a weird childhood, It's weird.
Some people like I'm not a hugger on first meeting. I have to like I'll like hug goodbye. I'm a great
Nah, we
hugger
hug. Shut
if
the
it's
fuck up.
sad.
Nah, we
But
hug
we weren't
first
first
meeting.
meeting. We weren't like how people like
Oh yeah, yeah.
if I just meet your whole family and like I don't know,
Yeah.
that might be a little different. But because some of them meeting people's family, I feel like know them a little bit, or they're kind of famous to me. Like I've
Yeah.
seen so many pictures of you. I know what you are. I know who you are. But I don't know. I'm
It's like, am
awkward.
I
I'm just
meeting
a
a
big
friend's
kid.
friend?
No,
Probably.
just meeting people would be awkward unless you like have a really good conversation right after you first met them and you like connect on some level. Because sometimes
Yeah.
that does happen. You're like all of a sudden you're crying with. That actually happened with me with the lady who does Brazilians. Like she is waxing, and I was like crying because she was telling me a story about how her leg got amputated. She's like,
Ooh.
so my vagina's out, and she's like, "Oh my god, are you crying for me?" It's like, yes. Like it wasn't because I was in pain. It was like the most awkward situation, but it was really touching. Like I love her.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys
I
have a friend date?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do it, but yeah, we were supposed to have a friend date.
Like outside, so it's not your vagina won't be out.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what you're
exactly.
like, "I am really fun to hang out with when my vagina's not out."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
When you're
I'm
not
fun when my
ripping my boobs
vagina's
out.
out too, but
Y'all, I'm socially awkward in public now. It's strange. I can't like meet people guys even like talking to guys. Like I'm just socially awkward. I feel so weird now because I guess I've been single for so long. It does something to you mentally or to yourself. Like I'm just weird, like totally fucking weird out there. Like I can't like just engage in a normal conversation with my other offspring, like the opposite sex now. It's
well,
just
this is
weird.
the thing. You have a whole bunch of experience
Hmm.
inside of your brain and inside your emotions now. So
Hmm.
there's red flags that you like there's things that turn you off about someone from afar now that you don't even need to get involved with. Whereas younger us, we're like, let's meddle here and see what's going on over there and fly over here and see and like buzz around. But older us, it's not necessarily that we're awkward. We've learned what we like and we
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
kind of sense it quicker that we're
you're
like,
right.
those aren't my people the same, or this isn't my conversation. I don't have to fake it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Like the
like the
other
older
night,
you get, you just fine tune.
he's talking about, oh, what do you do? And da da da. I podcast. I talk about conspiracy. I bartend. And he's going on about, well, like, he makes his own money and he has his own businesses and da da da. And it just bored me. Like, it wasn't, I don't know. Like, I brought up conspiracy and nothing was like, oh, so what are your favorite conspiracies? When somebody asks me that and like taps into that, like, okay, I have an open mind, then maybe I might be attracted to that person. But automatically going to NPC shit and I make business, I make money. I'm just like, okay, cool. You have money. That's not. what I'm looking for.
I had a friend that went on like a date a few weeks back and they were just something came up. Maybe they were just even walking and they were like, "Oh, chemtrails." And the person was like, "What? You believe in chemtrails?" And like mocked him about it. Like it became this joke of like mocking him about. And I was like, "How do you even go any further? How do you go on a date with somebody who are brainwashed just in their own brain that they don't see that and they've put it there in their entire childhood?" Like
Yeah.
it's the same way as somebody if you're like, "Yeah, I'm anti-vaccine." Well, I only have one booster. Nah, I'm sorry. I wish you well. I hope you heal from it. I hope you learn all the things. But we are already if like our worldviews were religions, we're opposite worldviews. I don't want to swim out that far. We're not going to have that much in common. Like I don't. You think way different about like medicine and governments
Yeah.
than I am ever gonna agree with.
Yeah. And it's just so hard now. And it's like the population of type of person you're looking for now is just like really, really slim, especially after the pandemic. And it's just like everybody's sleeping around with vaccinated people and shit, not giving a fuck. I'm like, y'all are nasty, bruh. Like, what the fuck? Your vagina is a temple. Why would
Yeah.
I want somebody who's vaccinated coming into me? Like, no way.
I really think that
The way I said that
I
was
know, here
terrible.
we go again. No, here we go. Because I forgot where we were all of a sudden. And I was just about to say, it's just hard pressed that you're going to tell me there's an ailment out there that isn't from. And then I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, everything that we get kicked down for. So make sure you follow us on X and Rumble because it is just a matter of time.
Oh, yeah.
Until we forget and we're going to be 5 minutes in and be like, "Oh shit, we said
Yeah.
all the names and things." And if you want to catch any of those episodes, they're still up somewhere. Even
That's
if they got
fucking
pulled down from
terrible, though. That we're at that level where we have to be careful what the fuck we're saying. Like vaccine.
I
Like
know.
I like vaccines.
I think that it's good that they cause every single ailment, including every single sexual transmitted disease that you think is out there and that you're having shame for or blaming somebody else for. I think it could just be from something else that we're not allowed to say that Layla loves so much. She loves vaccines.
I love them.
And I like how we do this stuff too. And Thomas is just like, I can feel him like, what are you guys just trying to get? It's like every day you're just like waving a red flag in front of the AI algorithm, like Fauci, Fauci, Fauci.
God, I
Oh
love
my gosh.
Fauci. I love him. I love him. He's such a great
Here's
guy.
something that anyone out there that would dare call themselves part of the LGBTQ plus community. How on earth can you call yourself a fucking gay that you have the audacity to carry a flag you call pride and you don't know anything about the history of Dr. motherfucking Fauci to your community over all others?
Mhm.
That is an atrocity to me.
Yeah.
So, if any faggots are watching this right now, do some homework because more of you were affected by Fauci than any other group. Any other
Yeah.
group, including New York grandmas. Look
Oh
into
my
it.
God.
Look into it. Stop fighting to wear a dress and read to the kids and maybe educate yourself on Dr. Fauci a little.
It just becomes laughable at a certain point when you're just like, you have all this history and proof of what they have done to humanity with all the testing and shit. And we're still at the point where people are like, oh yeah, I love the white coats. They're just amazing people. And I trust them wholeheartedly. Yeah, if you're about to die, yeah, I would trust the doctors to like keep my body alive. But other than that, to treat me, no, they're not treating you. They're causing more damage to you if you're
Maybe a
thinking that they're
surgeon.
treating you. Yeah.
I want a surgeon, but I want to have say so in what the surgeon's up to. I want to
Yeah.
tell them, hey, I'm having pain in my spleen. Yeah, I think you should take that out. That's all I need. That's all I needed was somebody else to like put me under, take the knife, cut it out. I already knew what was wrong. I didn't need the whole rigmarole in between. I think most of us with our bodies are like that. It's like I don't, when people are like, oh, Western medicine, look at what they've done with broken bones. They were setting bones in ancient Egypt. Please stop with your Western medicine nonsense. There is no such thing as anything good out of Western medicine.
Yeah, for real. And even to the point where, like, she was talking about bones, especially when you're having bone surgery and they're putting metals into your body, they're not even testing if you're allergic to these type of metals that they're putting into your body. They're just adding these parts in you. And then all of a sudden you have more pain or swelling and more tissue, or it's just, it's crazy.
Have you guys noticed a huge rise in surgeries though on whatever? Like I just hear all the time, like every person I know is like, oh, I've had surgery on this, I've had surgery on that, and I really want a surgery on this. And it's like, have y'all tried physical therapy? Have you tried anything other than fucking going and being cut open by a surgeon to have them fix it? And it usually doesn't fix it. It usually is still bugging you the rest of your life anyway. Still hurts,
Hmm.
doesn't work right. What if you actually try like physical therapy, fix the muscles around the joint, like do the things
Yeah.
that might actually help? I don't know.
Yeah, because the body
I think it's
heals
wild.
itself with whatever situation it is. If you could just find a way to help the healing process of that thing, whether it's your bone or your vein or whatever the case may be, your body will grow it back. Your body will reheal it. But we're not
Yeah.
giving
I
it
think it's
spaces to
awesome.
do that.
Surgeries by robots is awesome, but that's not Western medicine. It's just inputting a software code. It's just inputting a code into a computer that's been around since ancient Egypt. But it's Western technology stolen from US tax dollars, I guess. If you want to say that's Western medicine, then okay, I'll give
Yeah,
you that.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well,
I
it's
just
interesting because I was reading in the book that I'm reading, and it's about Roman times, BC, before Christ. And they were talking about sickness in this one chapter. And they're like, yeah, some doctors will say fast, some doctors will say eat, some doctors will say bleed the person or give a transfusion. And I'm like, transfusion? You're talking about bleeding a person out or giving them a transfusion. I'm like, how? What are they talking about in this context of transfusion if transfusions weren't a thing back in the day? So what does transfusion mean?
It
Did they
makes me
have that technology already? Or
well,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying they probably could have, but
blood
the thing
transfusion
is
wouldn't be hard to
blood
do,
typing. Yeah, blood typing would be the issue. But if you
but
are
not at
like
all
say
an
you're a
issue.
community, if you were in a
Yeah,
community that all lived in one community for a long time, you probably all have the same blood type.
Mm,
yeah. It wouldn't be an issue at all.
yeah, interesting.
Like
Like I
probably
bet like
everyone in
Albanians
the
from
village.
the old country, like that lived there for a long time for generations, all have the same blood type.
Yeah,
And probably if you went there and needed an emergency surgery, you'd be fine because both your parents are from Albania.
yeah, but
So
aren't
like you're
the AB negative, A, does that come into play, or O positive, or is that
they usually
interest?
find most, I think most indigenous people are O. I think
Yeah. Yep.
anywhere, whatever the indigenous to whatever continent they're on. So it's like the indigenous to South America are O, the indigenous to Australia are O, the indigenous to, it's really weird. And then
Eh,
AB is what universal they can give to everyone, right?
they're a
Oh,
universal recipient. They can receive any blood.
yeah.
So, but B is
But
usually like the like Middle Easterners and the Jewish folks, like the people from the
like
deserts.
me and Abby have the same blood type.
Yeah, and ours are probably like agrarian Europeans.
And my mother and my wife both are AB negative. And I think that's so wild because
Hmm,
it's so rare.
interesting. I don't
But
know
that would
my
be a
blood
mixing
type.
of European with like probably Middle Eastern, I would
But then
think.
that's where the negative RH, that's what Layla was talking about, where sometimes it gets into the Anki and Enlil, and people say like all the royals are negative RH or all the presidents are negative RH, and they go to all the elite are negative RH and all the lizards are negative RH. And then some people theorize that that negative RH something, it's like either if there was an idea of something like an indigo child, like maybe that negative RH has some magical or next level properties to it. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of thoughts on the negative RH and how rare it is.
Redheads are weird too. Like, do you not find it weird that they like don't need, or they're almost immune to anesthesia when they
They
go
need
under
more
surgery?
Really?
anesthesia.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need more than any other, like
like
per
sometimes it
weight.
doesn't work. Yeah,
And there's redheads of every color of skin. It's not
yeah,
it's not a European thing, it's not a white thing. There's redheads of every single color of skin, and it's the second biggest minority on the planet.
That's
yeah.
crazy. You know,
And
when I
second biggest, I hate that second biggest minority. It's the second smallest minority on the planet, redheads. Second smallest minority, and all the giants are redheads. It's weird because
Yeah,
they say like Genghis Khan had more kids than anyone. They always go back to that, but he was a redhead. So you would theorize that if everybody goes back to this bloodline of Genghis Khan somewhere, wouldn't more of us have red hair?
except it's recessive, right? So everybody has the recessive gene, probably.
hmm,
Well, you look at any good, like a lot of good Irish chap, they'll have blonde hair, dark hair, all things. But once they grow their beard, it's red
It's
beard.
red. Yep.
They get red beard. That's a good pirate name.
King David in
did
the Bible had red hair too.
Really.
didn't they discover like some kind of
David
mummified?
with Goliath, King
Hmm.
David.
Yeah,
He was a
they always
redhead.
they always describe him as having a ruddy complexion, and ruddy usually means redhead.
Huh, cuz the Nephilim were redhead.
Yeah, Muhammad was a redhead too, apparently. The prophet.
Huh.
Whoa, I
And
Hmm.
so
didn't
then
know that.
didn't we talk about something too? Didn't we say that Solomon could have been a Nephilim, like tall, big? Is
I don't
Maybe.
know.
Solomon is
I don't know.
Solomon's David's dad?
Solomon is no, he's not David's dad. He'd be, I think he's David's son.
David's son. No, who
He's Dav-
did huh, I'm just asking Abby like she is the Bible. Abby, tell
Sometimes I
me
am.
what I know you're so good at it. That's why I would just ask you like it's Layla with the Quran. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Layla, is this from the Hadith or the Quran? Like she just knows them both by the
Well, all the mummies they found had red hair. All the
Huh.
mummies are like redheaded.
Mary Magdalene was a redhead.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we're on to something here. There's
Huh.
something with the redheads here.
You
'Cause I
got
think a
the
lot of redheads are
like
RH negative too. I don't know if
I
that's
do
true or
too.
not, but I feel like there is something to the negative with that.
Here's what else I'd add to it. I think no matter walk or ilk or color of skin, green eyes would be the smallest minority on the planet. I would say most redheads probably have green eyes too. So if you're a redheaded green eyed, you're the smallest. And it doesn't matter if you're white, black, freckly Asian, it doesn't matter. Like there is redheads with green eyes in every single culture around the world, and it's just as rare.
yeah.
This is wild. This is there is something here. There's something to this.
Do you have red tones in your natural color?
Me?
I do.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm an ashy gal.
because I'm auburn, so I do have red in mine. But
Uh-huh.
I'm an ashy gal. Yeah, Layla looks like I get ashy brown or like blonde, like I don't
you
get
have red, Layla.
auburn.
Red, like caramel tones, like my natural
Yeah,
color is like a dirty blonde with like highlights in it. My natural color was nice, but now with the grays in there, no. It's so
I know.
terrible.
I
It's
feel
so
that.
terrible. Fucking shit.
Oh my
I
gosh, I
hate
don't know what I'm
I
going to
hate
start doing when I
grays.
get gray hair.
I hate it.
What are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? Mine's gonna be white like yours soon.
I know, I'm not even messing around. I'm not
I
even.
miss my blonde hair.
You dye your for a long-haired girl, you dye your hair just as much as a short-haired girl.
Yeah, I do.
Like
Yeah.
you change your hair color like I do.
But I'm not changing it for a while. I'm trying to literally grow it as long as possible and then fuck with it. So I'm
As
staying
long
dark
as
for a little bit.
possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think? We've talked about what are they, the wind talkers, the the natives that used to be able to find humans anywhere, like track humans, and then they got their hair cut and couldn't.
Yeah, they're Navajo, right? The what are
Oh, I saw
not
that today.
woodtalkers.
What? That's weird. Weird that
Yeah,
it's even
a
come up.
ceremony. Yeah, of them cutting. I think they had tattoos on their face too, somewhere on their chin or something. It was a
The
brief clip that I
Navajo code
saw.
talkers.
Yeah, Nava. Thank you, Stacy Sunshine. Shout out to Stacy Sunshine. She
Code
really
talk.
actually is an energy of sunshine if you ever get the opportunity.
Yeah.
And she's a super capable broad that gets shit done and
Mm.
lives her own little dream. So shout out to Stacy. So yeah, the Navajo code talkers, yeah, that their hair was like antenna and they could find anyone that was lost anywhere. And so the military, because they're the military, they're like, you have to shave your head to join, and then they couldn't do it anymore.
No, I think they
Mm.
told them they would not do it. They were like, "Nope, we will not join unless you let us freaking keep our hair." And the military like made an exception because so few people spoke Navajo that that's how they were able to freaking code messages was by using the Navajo language. Like there was no way for anybody else outside of that little area in like Arizona knew the language. So it was
Mm.
the best code language to use. But they kept their hair, I think. They fought for it and they won.
What
So
is blonding or bleaching your
I
hair
think
do to your antenna? I wonder. Or putting any of these chemicals in our hair, like what is it doing to us? Like literally. I wonder that
sometimes I
sometimes.
feel like it's intuitive for me to do it. Like
For me
I
too.
feel like they're poisoning us so much, like somewhere it does something else to my antenna. Like I've been drawn to bleach my hair for more of my life than not. I all the women in my hair are white. My family are white-headed, and I'm the only one that's not white-headed. But I'm also the only girl, and my tribe of women just keeps getting bigger. My women have women, like the amount of wombed women that keep having women. It's like enormous, and all of them white-headed. I'm the only one that's not, but I'm also the only lesbian. It's not like some families, they have like gays in the family. No, all the I'm from a whole bunch of women begot women begot women begot women, all white-headed. I'm the only one without. And so there feels like there's this some part of my like bleaching it, like it's my them, even though it's not. I'm not that, like I'm not the same as all of them, but it
Mm.
feels like it. It's like that. Like all the women are white-headed. It feels natural to be white-headed woman in my family.
Yeah, I feel that. I have my moments. I'm like, I don't feel myself when I don't have blonde hair. It's like, I don't know what it is. It does something to me.
When I look back at the pictures of myself when my hair was growing back, it's still weird to see that person to me. Anytime I see like I if I have my natural color hair, it tends to be longer. The second it's short, I'm just like I can do whatever I want to my hair because I can cut it off tomorrow. Why wouldn't I?
that's how I was when my hair was short. I colored it whatever color I wanted all the time.
Yeah. And I guess I do color my hair is because I don't want to look how I looked in the past where I went through a lot of shit. So I don't want to look like my natural hair colored person because looking at that, it just brings back memories. So that's why I go blonde or red or dark. I won't go my natural hair color. I won't for some fucking reason. I just don't like it. It's a beautiful color, but in my mind, I won't allow myself. I wonder where that comes from.
I also it's like in the process of it, I think it's in our, the craft, how she whatever her name was, Robin Tunney, and she her hair in an all different color. There's something about that. It's like I've never been a girl that paints my nails. I don't wear makeup, so I don't change my features on my face and get to see myself with big eyes or little eyes or rosy cheeks. It's just I always look like me, except my hair sometimes is different.
Mm.
But I feel like in my tribal, like I wonder if we would just wore face paint, would I care about my hair? It's like, do we all just have this form of expression and a certain amount of expression that has to come out somewhere? Like
I
as
think
a
so.
girl, I still have to have my hair is my little girly, like I spend this time on this thing. Like it's like my little self-care. I cut it, I give myself a fade, I bleach it, do whatever, but I'm not spending the time doing the makeup. Nobody else is doing it for me, but I am spending that time looking in the mirror. Like maybe as
Yeah.
women, we just need this little bit of time of looking in, like we all have the same amount of time we stare in the mirror and we don't even realize it.
Yeah, everyone has their reasons for doing what they do, I guess, you know?
But I don't know if it's healthy. Like I think that sometimes for myself, like if I'm trying to live like the healthiest version, like putting peroxide on my scalp is probably
Oh
not the
yeah.
healthiest. But yeah, I don't have any excuses for it. I'm well aware. I'm well aware what's going on.
It's true.
We all die.
I know we all die and die.
We do.
Well, some of us don't die, some of us bleach. Yeah. So, anyways, what else were we talking about? What else is going on, ladies and gents, on this fine Father's Day evening? I don't know what we're gonna roll into next week. I do know there's a lot of court cases going on. It's probably stuff that that's why Hunter Biden and Fauci ouch and stuff. I think Daddy T's probably in New York. And is he in a trial? I don't even know. Or is his trial over?
I don't even know. I haven't been keeping up with it.
There was also the whole Alex Jones thing. That was a little bit of a where they were like, he can keep Infowars. He doesn't have to dissolve it to pay off the 1 point whatever billion dollars. Y'all, I don't give a fuck about Alex Jones. To me, he's like the Twin Towers. He was put there to destroy. He was built to destroy. He was set there as the conspiracy theorist to look crazy so that he could make all of us, the second I say anything, oh, do you think like Alex Jones? He was at the insurrection, so he could all be part of that day. He was on top of a tank. So he's just another Buffalo shaman. He was just never needed. It never got that big. It would have looked silly that there was 4 people walking through velvet ropes and Alex Jones in a tank when everyone was still down watching Donald Trump finish a speech. But he's just what I call controlled opposition. He, like Joe Rogan, is cheesecloth for your fucking brain. Yes, he might have been your first red pill. You might have heard some truce on Joe Rogan. You might have heard some truce on Howard Stern. There's a good chance the higher levels you go and the more intelligent you are, that they need to tell you more truths to keep you there so you think the bullshit's real too. And so there is just this thing that I watch these people that like Alex Jones was just put there with this whole Sandy Hook bullshit fake trial. Sandy Hook's not even a real town. It's all CIA bullshit. And nobody else will tell you that because everybody's like, oh, I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to go too far out there because then they're not going to believe this other stuff. No, the CIA is bigger than you think. The shadow government's bigger than you think. The whole fucking town's bullshit. Every one of the families is bullshit. The court case was bullshit. Alex Jones is bullshit. And he was only put there because first they come for Alex Jones and then they're allowed to take us down for saying Fauci. That's how I
I
feel. He's just set up to destroy. It makes me nutty that people put him on some kind of pedestal.
sometimes I wish I could shut my mouth and not go straight over the fucking like off the diving board into the deep end with people. But it's like I find like when I'm talking conspiracy, because it's almost like you got to see where their level is first, right? Like I try to do that, but then all of a sudden it's like, nope. Okay, we're going to the deep end. Here you go. Sandy Hook's not real. You're like, what? Like,
You can't
fuck.
stop it
Okay.
sometimes. You're like,
Now let's get into frazzle drip and all of that too. Like, what?
that's where I'm like, I don't
Ugh,
care how crazy I look anymore.
yeah,
Because guess
I
what?
don't either.
My crazy ass never wore a mask. I've never been wrong yet. I've never been wrong yet. So I just feel like I'm going to keep doing my real actions. You guys can keep talking your words, because there's people that are singing it and there's others that are bringing it. And so that's how I feel about Alex fucking Jones. He never, ever, ever, ever was even the number one go-to Sandy Hook guy. It's just, it was the super sloppy false flag. We all were calling it out, and they needed us to stop calling it out. So they needed to give us a fear porn person to make us shut up. And I'm still going to tell you Sandy Hook is fake, fake, fake. And that'll be a banner we haven't gotten yet. So they'll only be able to warn me for it. But it's wild. Where are all the families going to sue me? They're not going to sue me any more than the FBI is going to come for me for being at the insurrection, because it's fake, fake, fake. I'm so over these things that it's just like, no, Chaney, be quiet though, because PayPal, Elon Musk will charge you $2,500 if you say the wrong thing. Yeah, Elon Musk did have that. Stop trying to put that guy on a pedestal either. He just wished Obama a happy Father's Day. He voted for Joe Biden, admittedly. He has one booster. Like,
Yeah.
shut up, Elon Musk. Stop pretending you're the smartest guy in the world.
Like the
Like-
same people that I'm going off the deep end with conspiracy at work, then all of a sudden they're like, who do you think Trump's going to choose as a running mate? I hope it's Elon. I'm like, oh my God. Don't make me start. Please. Please.
This
Some
is what
people
makes me
think it's
crazy.
JFK Jr.
When people are like, I hope it's a woman. I hope it's a black person. I hope it's, I'm like, that's how we got into this mess to begin with. Stop it. Just, can it be the best person?
The
Can
best
it just
person.
be the best fucking
No matter
person
what they
for
look
the
like
job?
on the outside. Yeah.
Stop with this nonsense, you guys. Stop it. Stop it. Like, how Kamala Harris, she could, if somebody doesn't do their original job good, don't give them a promotion. What is wrong with you dildos? Like, I can't. And this kind of stuff where, because politics is theater, politics is theater. Yeah, I know. Do you know how many people still will debate with me? They're like, Joe Biden, he's like such a great man. I mean, not debate with me. I don't even swim out that far to talk to people. I just watch, and this is what part of the reason that we have this Vince sesh on Sundays, is because sometimes I hear people say this, and old me, flame torch. New me, I save my energy for here to flame torch the world with you guys, because what am I going to swim out that for, to save that dildo? I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I'd rather get you guys to realize, hey, 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 don't pay attention to Alex Jones either, because it's just a matter of time till he leads you astray as well. Maybe if he tattoos Richard Nixon on his back like Roger Stone, you guys will believe him. What the fuck? Tucker Carlson, shut the fuck up. These are controlled ops to me. You don't get to play on Fox News. So what? Well, Chaney, he interviewed Trump. Chaney, didn't you see Jesus just hung out with Tucker Carlson? Don't care. Don't care. I don't care. You can say part of the right things. I've been watching you for years. All you are is the Republican Anderson Cooper to me. I'm glad Elon gave you a place on his psyop called X. I think it's funny that we all know LifeLog is a real thing. We all know Facebook was LifeLog. But just so you know, you guys, that was the only one the CIA was doing. You're safe everywhere else. Get a grip. Get a grip. Sorry. I had to tear down some fucking fake. Like, there's people around there that people are giving the daddy to. Don't stop giving the daddy to Tucker. Stop that. He's not daddy. Elon's not daddy.
Amen.
None of them are.
A woman.
None of them are.
None of these characters on TV, the king, the queen, who the fuck are these people? You
Who
know,
are
who gives them
'em?
power? We give them power, and we keep doing it, and we keep going along with their fucking script and their system. So here we are in the movie. We're all in it, and we just got to play along. Just
You
pick
know
your
what's not
character.
going to happen? And I'll tell you, if you were lucky enough to catch me in any chat room on X over the last 24 hours, I don't give a fuck if you have 500,000 people and everyone else in the whole fucking chat room sucks your dick. Guess who never will? I don't care. There is no difference to me of your blue check and all your followers and you being Joe Rogan or Alex Jones or another version of cheesecloth for free thinkers. And so I don't give a fuck when you come into these rooms that I see these people too. They're not in any rooms. We could be hanging out in a chat room on Twitter. There could be 50 of us. We could be hanging out in there for 8 hours. The second we hit 100, all these little fucking gnats that all they care about is hopefully one day I can sit on my couch and make a living doing nothing and being untalented on Elon's X. Like, and so they're all zooming into the room just so they can come say their piece of script. It's all about saving the children, y'all. I just want you to know to save the children because they just want to get their followers from in the room and they're out. And then, or they're coming on and doing their fucking thing. And so there is so many of these fucking people that get worshipped on X, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to call them out. What I've realized is the room sits silent, sucking their dick until I say, who the fuck are you, you stupid Canadian bitch? Are you really have the audacity to tell me how my fucking country's run? Do you have the audacity to tell if are you even allowed on the internet right now? Get the fuck. I don't give a fuck. And everyone all of a sudden is like flipping tables too. Stop letting these fucking big accounts who gives a fucking shit how many people follow you? Do you know how many of these things, one, could be bought, two, could just be given for free by the CIA so you think they're the number one pop song to listen to? Stop with the nonsense. Have some kind of turn on your intuition and then think what is a good person? Look around the people at your life and how they make you feel and stop sucking these idiots' dick online. The difference of the three of us and a lot of other people out there, we ain't trying to make a living doing this, motherfuckers. Never going to care about it. Never going to care about the lost account. So it's just there's a lot. The second these motherfuckers have a voice where they care about making a living off of it, you better believe their whole entire opinion, what got them to the dance, they're just going to start dancing with the Christian griff. They ain't Christians. They just know Christians give the most amount of money. So check, be careful. You know, this is, I hate to sound like an anon when I say this. Be careful who you follow.
Yeah.
Literally.
That is one of the oldest Q statements. Be careful who you follow. You watch these people, they delete their content and then they come back on and say a whole different dance than they were just saying last week. You know they were saying a different dance than they were saying last week. This week they're on Anaki. Next week they're Christ. The week after that they're all fucking on the Hadith.
Well, here is a space of where we actually interact with our chat. We read what they say. I care what they say. I'm listening to everybody, but I listen to them too and their thoughts. That's what the difference. We don't have a following. We have a space for people just to come and hang out. Who wants to come hang out? Come hang out. Who doesn't? Doesn't. That's it.
And Layla,
That's
you
all it
guys
is.
really does every single one of us are reading the chat too. And so Layla hasn't had her computer. And sometimes if we get into conversation, it's just, you see how many joints I'm smoking while I'm hanging out. And then I'm in conversation with them and I just forget to look over. And so I try to pay attention the whole time, but Layla hasn't had her computer and it's been driving her crazy. And so she even borrowed her sister's computer just so she could hang out with y'all.
Yeah.
She's been doing it on her phone, but she just missed y'all.
Yeah, so I'm like, y'all, till I get my computer fixed, this is what I'm dealing with. But now I could see what you guys are writing, and you guys are awesome in there. So kudos to you and for making it a space where you can be not a follower of us, but are like us.
We
And
like
just
that you
wanna,
big up each other in there too.
yeah, yeah, I love it.
We love that you guys see each other come in and love it.
Mhm.
And
And the
I don't
familiar
know.
names. And
Community.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's important. It's important that community is real, that people are just being real for no reason, like people used to be. Don't you guys remember the 90s?
I miss those times.
There was just no reason. Just I'm sitting on my skateboard. I have my socks almost pulled up to my knees. Layla comes up. She has ice cream dripping down her to her elbow.
Yeah.
Abby's just messing around with her jump rope or something. She's like, "Hey, you guys, you want to go see a dead body?"
Beat the fuck
Oh my
up,
gosh, my favorite movie.
dirty, sweaty, stinky ass kids, just fucking running
Yeah.
through the streets, and it was a time, man. It was a time.
And all of this stuff, this is really that idea of how we would have hung. It wouldn't have mattered what religion our parents were, what color our skin was, what any of the other bullshit was. We would have been excited to hang out if we were allowed to have hung out.
Yeah.
And we don't know if any of our parents would have let us. Who knows? My mom could have had a wild hair. You are not hanging down with the Muslim family down the street. They're going to go to hell when they die. You don't need to fall in love with people going to hell. That wouldn't be my mom, but that was just like other Southern moms I pictured. But I just, in life, no matter what the question was, when we were kids on a dirt road or wherever you're from, no matter the question, it wasn't stupid, it wasn't silly. Like, kids had the original philosophy. They could sit and be like, what if a dinosaur walked up right now? Like, what would we all really do? Let's ponder that. And then the same thing, these questions sometimes are big in the world, but we're like, what if they're doing this? What if they're doing this? The hard part is so many people out there are like, I know for sure. I'm 100% positive. Here's the date. And you guys keep following these accounts that nobody knows for sure. No one's ever going to know for sure. That would be a really bad plan. If you really thought there were elites, or if you believed in a god or a Satan, if you believed in aliens, if you believed in the CIA, it would just be such a bad plan for everyone to know, wouldn't it? So it's just like, I think it's funny how many crime and real TV and everybody's a detective, but everybody know, like, here's the date, my clock's ticking. John McAfee's gonna post, here's the clock.
They become cults, Chaney. These other channels, like, it's like a cult thing now. Like, groups are now cults. All these people that are following all these people because they speak on a subject that anyone can just go and do your own research on, and you'll become an expert on it too. That's what experts
Who's that
are
random
now.
black guy? That's huge. He's like the biggest X account where he talks about conspiracy.
Patriot.
Somebody will mention him. They'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I think he has braids. He looks kind of like the youngest Rudy on Cosby Show, but he has a beard. But he has like that round face, and he's only like 4'9". Anyways, there's this conspiracy theorist shill on X. Like, they push him like all the way. And if somebody's pushed on my account that I don't follow, they either pay to be pushed on my account, or they are pushed on purpose. For what purpose? So why am I getting pushed these certain huge accounts that are, this guy, I can never remember his name, but he's always fucking pushed to my account. This guy, I'm going to put up his name because look at it. I don't even know. I almost called him Tom Segura. Dom Lucra, like whatever. But everybody treats this dude like he is, but all he's doing is taking stuff from any one of the people you followed in the last decade and regurgitating it half-assed badly to the lowest common denominator, and then putting some kind of vacant question at the top just to get a whole bunch of interaction. And it's like, I don't know. These people are just, it's just like such a regurgitated script at this point. And I don't know. I don't even know. But he's just one of them. There's so many of them that I'm like, nobody else can see that. There's hustlers. Don't get me wrong. There's people with accounts that they hustle. They put up content all the time. They're doing stuff. I'm not talking about 1 million followers, though. 500,000 followers, though. There's a whole different thing when they let you get that size. When they let you get that size, you're saying all the right things or working for all the right people. Anywhere in life, no one turns their chair for you in real life. All the people they turn their chair for are CIA.
That's true.
Or shadow government, or Mossad, or MI6, or whatever other name you want to put on it. But they just don't let us have a voice for very long if we're saying the thing that might spark something. And that's for anyone out there. Everybody has to be so clever about it. You guys hear me magic, me magic, me magic. It's two things. One, anything can be a voodoo doll. You can put intention into something, and the more you build it, the more real it comes. The other thing with meme magic was originally that we all created memes so that the computer couldn't read it.
Yeah.
That was what meme magic was. We
It's like,
just
oh,
were cutting and pasting up pictures or putting something so under the computer didn't see that I was trying to put H, all the things I can't say, C, all the things I can't say, Q, all the things I can't say.
mm-hmm.
That's really what life has been like for people trying to be like, don't do this other crazy stuff that might cause other crazy things.
Yeah. uh,
Have you
do you
ever
know what's
played Plague Inc?
Plague Inc?
Plague Inc.
Mm-mm.
It was this game that was on the phones. It was like an app. And I really, even when I was playing that game, I was like, this is how I'd kill the world. Like I conquered the game. And once I conquered the game, I'm like, well, if I was
Hmm.
the first person to do it, the AI or the elite was like, thank you very much.
Thanks for telling us how to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah,
showing
your
us.
goal was trying to get everybody on the planet infected and dead.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's insane. That's fucking insane if you think about it that way. Or analyzing the different people who've actually finished that game and who had the better strategy of
I
all.
think video games are
I want
training
to tell you
everyone.
my
Like even the
strategy.
person shooter games. Like I feel like that's training our youth to fucking to
Yeah.
be like sure shots.
That's fucking crazy. Do you know what's crazy? What I saw today? I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw it on my feed on Instagram, and I didn't have time. I was just like in and out of sleep because I wasn't feeling good. But a dragon like figure on the Empire State Building on the tower. And I don't know if it has to do with anything with the movie or whatever, but it's literally wrapped on top of the Empire State Building, a dragon.
Oh
This
no,
is
there
bizarre.
is. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull it up. Giant dragon inflatable spotted on Empire State Building. Oh, here I'll pull it up so we can all read it together
Fucking
and look
bizarre.
because
Yeah.
this is the timeline we're on, you guys. The timeline you're on to
Year of the
this week
dragon.
is Year of the Wooden Dragon. Giant dragon inflatable spotted on Empire State Building for latest House of the Dragon marketing stunt. Oh, because
Oh,
House of
really?
Dragon comes out tonight.
Yeah, but like, really? Really?
That's a shitty looking dragon.
It's,
I was
yeah,
expecting it
Yeah,
to
I'm
look really
trying.
cool, but it really doesn't.
All it
It
does
looks
is look
like
like a green blob. There's more to this story. That is
there's
not a
yeah.
great
other
dragon.
pictures. There's other pictures. They
Like it
look
looks
different.
like
Oh,
Venom with that's green or something. I don't know.
yeah, there is
This is
something.
something to it.
Yeah, there's more to it, Layla. I agree. I want to
Oh, let's
see
randomly put an inflatable fucking
that no one
dragon.
can see. This is what it looked like from the ground.
Ugh,
Who else? Like really? You wouldn't.
that's
You would
something
barely
symbolic.
notice it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Even
On another tower, a popular tower in New York City, you want to just post up a dragon there. Cool. I thought dragons don't exist, but you want to promote
Can
it
we
for a movie?
can we
I
not
don't
make
know.
a cool dragon promo? That's the best that you could
there, that
do.
I think I found a way better fucking picture, at least of the face. At least they tried. Okay.
Mhm.
Ah, but this does not look like a dragon. Still, it says massive
Mm.
dragon deployed to top of Empire State Building as Game of Thrones prequel.
Oh,
Well,
you
it's
know
probably
what?
not a dragon that we're used to seeing.
What's the snake called in Norse mythology that freaking Loki gives birth to?
Not it's not Leviathan, right? No.
No, Mink. You want me to say this word, Abby? Good try.
Yeah,
You,
we need
you
somebody to do their.
Jormungandr.
where is Ben Balderson
Where
when you
is Ben
need him?
Balderson when you need somebody to do the
Your
Gorgatron?
Mungander.
Yeah,
Jormungandr.
That might not be the
Jormungandr.
snake on the tree of life, though. See, this is a question that
it
we shouldn't even attempted to answer. The world serpent. Oh, it is. Okay.
It is. That's the one that's going to swallow the earth or swallow the world.
Okay, the world serpent. I was about to be like, nope. I feel like we're misleading people. I'm getting out of this.
No, it is the
Okay.
serpent. Loki gives birth to it. Like that one
Interesting.
show
Pictures.
is so good. Like the Thor show, I forget what it's called on Netflix, but it kind of does like a modern day Norse mythology thing.
Yeah, I feel
Ragnarok.
like
Oh, it's
there's
so good.
something way more to that up there, but it is also House of Dragons starting tonight, which made me like, ooh. Ooh, I do likey me some
House
House
of
of
Dragons is
Dragon.
off Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, it's the prequel to
It's
Game
like
of Thrones.
okay, okay. I haven't watched
To
Game
tell
of
you what
Thrones
happened to
yet,
the
so like
Valyrians.
I need to get to it.
Valerians. Valerian steel.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
in your head.
Valerian.
I didn't even know why I
Yep.
said it, and I even said it in a voice.
Because I projected it to you.
Probably. If you were a character of Game of Thrones, this is such a stupid question. I don't even know what character. Like, if we're all going into Game of Thrones, what character's role are you taking?
The lady in red,
I only know the blonde,
Cersei.
the one who's a
Oh
dragon
yeah,
queen or whatever her name is. Her. I love her.
she's beautiful.
Ugh. You know what? If
Mhm.
whatever that big dyke's name is, I wouldn't mind being her. But then she hooked up with Jamie Lannister,
I know it's so
and
weird.
we're all like this, girl.
You're gay.
I'm a girl. But this is the world we're in for real. Brienne of Tarth. This is really the world we're in. That
Yeah.
makes me a Looney Tunes. Brianna Tarth will come out tomorrow, and people will be like, "Did you guys hear Brianna Tarth was gay?" And you're like, "Yeah, duh." Like it's like
So that happened with
Like,
that happened with the
hello.
Bridgerton thing too, though. Like, because the new season of Bridgerton, you kind of start thinking that one of the main characters maybe is gay, and then she befriends this other girl who you're like, oh, that girl's totally gay, and then she just came out in real life and she's definitely gay. It's like
on
I know where this
Bridgerton,
is going.
Oh, that happens?
Yeah.
y'all.
That happens? Okay, I
I
haven't
Yep.
just
seen it
every time I
all yet.
glance up and look at Bridgerton, like I tried a fairy tale. Like I could watch Gossip Girl. I XOXO Gossip Girl my way out of most phone calls if people know me. But I can't Bridgerton. I know my
I
Jules
used to
is
love like
obsessed.
historical
Love
romances,
it.
so it's along the same lines. So I like it too.
Jules doesn't even she's like, "Are
I
you
don't know why.
podcasting?" Because she's watching Bridgerton.
Good for her.
I know this is what I think about
Yeah.
Bridgerton to me. Gay.
Nah, stop. No, it's not. I love it. The whole idea of that romantic, like, again, honor and like respect and face and, your word has a lot
It's
of
very
that in there.
feminist
The
too. I like that.
characteristics of that.
Do you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
like because there's timepieces that are done, like Dangerous Liaisons tries to take a time period, but you know what fucking puts that cigarette out in a wet ashtray? Cruel Intentions.
Mm,
Cruel Intentions movie, that movie was fire, fire, fire.
yeah, it was good. With what was his name? I had a
Ryan
crush on him.
Something.
Philippe,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Philip. Yeah.
I love
he
him.
married Reese Witherspoon and they had children.
Reese Witherspoon too. Yeah.
Elite child stars, both of them. She was in The Man in the Moon. That is
Yeah,
a
but he
with
stopped too.
where she was like 13 in that movie, having to make out with Jason Landon, who was probably like 22. But they do that like that 70s show shit. Like that's where I feel like Mila Kunis is just groomed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think all
It's
of
no
them
big
are.
deal. You do it on stage all the time.
And that they practice the art of secretism and like keeping secrets and which ones can keep the secret. They just climb higher on the ladder, and that's how they become elitists, like the elite of the Academy Awards or whatever, Hollywood music industry. The more secrets you keep, the higher you go.
Isn't it kind
Your
of this is
word is
what
your
I like.
bond.
This is what I like about Sundays. We'll just be talking about and then hard right. Like we will
Mm,
talk about conspiracies, everyone. We will talk about 9/11 being an inside job. We will tell you Sandy Hook's fake. I will even go as far as to say I don't believe North Korea is real at all. The only validation that we have of North Korea being real is Dennis Rodman and Trump stepping over sandbags and shaking hands with an actor. Other than that, it's always been a president with a hard hat on behind sandbags. It really is. It could be the smallest movie set. Like it reminds me of Pee Wee's Big Adventure driving his bike around and they move the like slides. And it's like, oh, it's a city on wheels. It's not really there. And then he goes through and Godzilla looks like it's over a city and then it looks so huge until Pee-wee drives his bike by. That's
yeah,
how I think every day Wag the Dog, they're up. That's what I think they're up to.
I think everybody needs to see Wag the Dog if you never have. Like, I didn't appreciate it as much when I watched it because I was a kid, but it definitely did something to my brain. It made me realize that, oh shit, the news is probably fake.
Everybody should watch this movie. Everybody should watch this movie. Let me find where we're at right now because I feel like I just did the craziest thing to the screen. Whew, that was terrifying. So this is Wag the Dog, and it has these two groovy guys in it, De Niro and
Dustin Hoffman.
Tootsie, the original man in a dress. But so Wag the Dog, I think it's even funny that they're the two that tell you about this.
I
It's pretty
know.
much just about like a president losing where are we? I feel like I don't know what screen we're on. There. Okay. I couldn't find you guys and I was scared. I shut the whole thing down. But uh it's just all about them creating an entire fake war. Now you put that on top of um the babies in incubators that we all find out about the first desert storm not being real at all, then lead to 9/11 that we know Iraq has nothing to do with and that our government has everything to do with, but we go into there again. It's like, y'all, stop letting them wag your dog. It's all about the people are supposed to be the dog. The government is our tail. We decide to wag it when we want to. Our country now exists in a way that the tail wags the dog. And that
Yeah.
is really the whole concept of the movie. And so it's like there could be all these movies that people are like, "Oh my gosh, this movie is predictive." No, it's laughing in your face because they know none of you are going to watch The Big Short and take it seriously. So that's why you're in the middle of a housing market crisis again. Like, it's like wild to me. And so then for the people out there, if you know history, you aren't doomed to repeat it. So if the market's about to crash, sit on your cash. And that's how you auction properties and get them for inexpensive. Sometimes you can just pay off people's taxes and get their properties to the stupid tax man. Do we want to even start on the tax man tonight since I'm here? What is this marijuana? This is not supposed to be like this. Huh.
Chaney's on it tonight.
I like it. It is like it's apples and bananas.
Hmm.
It's apples and bananas mixed with, I don't know, mixed with something. Somebody out there might know what that means. I have to look up the terpenes later, but I am kind of shot out of a cannon today. People just annoy me
Same.
a little bit. I had 2 patients back to back, you guys. Sometimes I just am like, "Oh, you need this? Dink, 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 dink. Bye." Sometimes I have to spend 40 minutes with you. 40 minutes. And then today I had to spend like 33 minutes with somebody. Very next person, 42 minutes.
Mm.
What? What? And then I don't mind I'm helpful. I want to have everyone, I want them to figure out what marijuana is really going to help them. But y'all, sometimes people, I'm like, your brain doesn't even have the concept of here yet. Why don't you just start with indica sativa hybrid and work there? You don't even need to know what a terpene is. You don't even need to go there yet. Let's just figure out a baseline there, grandma. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. Whew. Whew. I was so patient, and so it was so built up inside of me, because when the better customer service I give through my frustration, the more there is to unleash. I've been around
I can
kids a
see
little
that.
bit, and so I can't unleash around kids. I've realized that about myself, that things I would have done to cause kids trauma in my younger days, don't do in my older days, like a random outburst or let me vent about something crazy that like, and put all this energy into the room, and kids don't understand what yelling means. Like old me might have done some shit like that, but new me, I don't do that shit. And so I also have had to keep it quiet, keep a little bit of a lid on it.
I
Ugh.
think we all had to.
I've been a little bit of a tiger too this week, energetically.
I got my period, so my period, I'm on a calm state.
Oh,
Before my period,
migraine.
I'm a bitch. Oh, it's coming.
No, migraine. That's what I'm saying. Your period can contribute to migraine, especially
Uh,
with
I did every
if
month.
your estrogen is getting lower.
huh. But isn't low estrogen like good for like not having breast cancer?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and yeah, because everybody thinks estrogen is a female hormone, but really it's not. It's progesterone, I believe.
Yeah,
Like that's the one
progesterone
that's
is.
important. Um, but too much estrogen, like that's it caught yeah, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, a lot of those. But it
Yeah, it
also is like
causes a lot
the
of
number one cause
cysts.
of cellulite. Women who gain weight on their bottom half tend to be estrogen dominant. I'm estrogen dominant.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
progesterone. What I learned is now they do scans instead of going through when you do breast cancer scans. What are they called again? Mammogram.
mammograms.
Yeah, there's a new technique where they can just take the infrared images of your
Yeah.
body and certain
It's
other images. I forgot what they're called, but
it's
when it's
called thermal
high,
tomography. Yeah.
yeah. So when it's like
It's
high levels of estrogen, it'll show up in your veins, like you're more veiny around the breast, and you see the difference. Go ahead, you
yeah.
probably know more than I do about it.
It's just actually really old technology, and it's
Hmm.
100% better for you though than a mammogram, because when you get your mammogram every year, every 6 months, whatever, like you are actually exposing your breast to so much radiation that over time it causes breast cancer. So it
Hmm.
it's a fucking system. It's a loop. It's the cure is, the poison is in the cure. Like, remember to get your mammograms. Remember to get your mammograms. Fuck that. Go do thermal tomography. It's not freaking bad for you. It doesn't expose you to radiation. And once you do your baseline, they know what you look like, and they're able to freaking do that instead.
If
So
you guys want really good progesterone, that's really good and potent. There's this. It's called Progest E. It's like really thick honey-like texture, and all you do is put some on your finger and rub it on your gums so it could absorb through your gums, and it's freaking awesome. This stuff is the cleanest progesterone that you can find on the market right now, and it's called Progest E. Hey, if you guys
awesome.
see, you can sponsor us.
You can drop link, and if you use the hashtag Ssgg, it
That's
will get you
GG.
absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
But
It works. It's great
I
stuff.
actually am like, you need to drop a link somewhere for that, Layla, because
Yeah,
everybody can
Yeah.
follow Layla at
I
Godpilla
got it.
Angel 333, just like it's written on the page. And so we can all go get some Progest so
Progest
that
E.
we're all extra progesterone during Abby's 21st birthday party. We're going to film parts of it too. It'll be
Or all of
fun.
it. Let's hire somebody to just film it.
Film it like a wedding.
Yeah.
Like we'll just have a photographer follow
Yeah,
us
a
around the whole night.
videographer.
A
Yep.
videographer that edits it later and gives it back to us with like
Like, oh
weird
shit, we
songs in
can't
it.
show that. Yep.
That'll be funny. I know. Everything, I feel like for real reals, all the causes are in their cures. For real reals. It's the more there isn't any ailments. I mean, maybe something easy. You got pink eye? Like you got some weird eye infection, you got some doo-doo in your eye, you got some kid that actually hit you, you got some bacteria in there. Some things happen. Some things go down. There is the medical issues sometimes. Pollen, maybe it bothers people. I think used to people got normal to it. Now I think because of all the other ailments and everything else that we're not allowed to talk about, I think people have allergies, that things that get blamed on allergies that are not allergies, that are just from these things. But
Well,
then
there's something to that, Chaney. There's not enough female trees out there to absorb the pollen. And that's the problem. They're cutting all the female trees that make fruit and just leaving the male trees out there that produce the pollen to fertilize the fruit. It's just causing the allergy problems because there's nowhere for the pollen to go. It's just flying everywhere with all these male dominant trees. It's become a male dominant tree system now. Less fruit, more male dominant, more pollen. So that's a major issue that they hide from everybody. Like we could easily fix that if you put like fruitful trees next to the male trees. So like you'll have fruit for everybody and less allergies and less problems. So people could actually fucking breathe, but they don't want to do that.
or think about it this way. What about, as above, so below, and things in nature working? Men, technically, they could have a million kids in a lifetime, like as many kids as they could, like as many women. If there was a whole bunch of fertile women lined up and a dude could just keep popping, they could just knock her up, knock her up, knock her up, from the time he could knock her up until the time he died, knock her up, knock her up, knock her up, knock her up. That isn't really feasible, nor is it necessary. There's a lot of other men that want to get it in. Okay. Like we don't just need
Get a
one.
little
This
bit of
being
Genghis
said,
Khan.
in nature, one male tree surrounded, like if we thought Mormonism, like a more like that kind of idea, like, oh, you're allowed to have multiple wives. If we gave one male tree multiple wives, that would be so dreamy for him, and he could pollinate all of them.
Same thing with pot plants. You do not want males around, and if you do, you save one so you could pollinate so you can get seeds. Like that's it. You don't freaking overdo the males.
So
Ooh, we
it
figured
seems
it
like
out.
every single city, every single small town. This is even something like, politics is happening in there. People might be running for politics, or people might need your vote for politics, and this could be a very easy thing. There's city planner jobs out there, there's mayor jobs out there. Excuse me. Ching ching ching. Is this thing on? You can go to your city council, your thing, and say, why is between every one of our roadways these trees? Why is between every one of our walkways these trees? Why, like, the bigger your town, the more of this area you have. Why isn't it fruit trees?
Why do they plant oleander, like a poisonous ass bush, on all the freeways in Southern California?
Well,
You ever
certain
wonder that?
states do too, where if you own property, in every state out there, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. If you own property by your line, or there's a certain tree you can put on your property. Every state has one. When you put it in the ground, as tall as it gets, they consider the root system, that big circular around it. And so that you can write off. You don't have to pay taxes on that land.
Weird.
It's like a grazing cow. That's why a lot of big properties will have a grazing animal, because there's certain things that you don't have to pay taxes on, at least in Florida. But I know every single state has a tree that you can plant that is this thing. But why can't more people just plant some motherfucking trees? And I know why. We know why the old system, why capitalism and all these lobbyists and all this. Look at how far back this is. This is something that the people in the 40s should have taken care of. No lobbyists are out there thinking about this right now. Like, this is one that we could get some fruit plants put in our cities, and everyone's like, well, then everyone would just pick it raw. So what?
Yeah,
So
so
what if
much.
people are eating?
No,
If
like
there's
so
so
Oh
many
my
much.
trees,
god.
and maybe the first few seasons everyone would, but if everyone got so comfortable walking by and they could just pick a fruit anytime, maybe after a few years they would just people would just you were on your walk going to the subway, going to your
Dude,
grandma's, going to wherever, and you could just grab a mango like I literally do.
yeah, Chaney. When I grew up in
That's
Astoria, all our streets, the neighborhoods were all covered in fruit trees. And then I grew up there. So little by little, I saw them taking these trees down. I mean, we could run off the block all as kids, just pick a pear off one tree, pick a fucking apple. They had these little kumquats, whatever they're like little tiny little apricot thingies. They were all over the streets, and then you just see them disappear, and it's like they did this strategically. You could even see them marking them in the wild, like in the forest, marking what trees are female, which ones are male, which ones need to be cut down, and which ones need to stay up, and most of them are female. And there's something going around like a petition against this out there already, but so not talked about because not enough people care about it. But if they did
that's
care, they'll see their health improve a little bit.
one of the things I always wanted to do. Like if I were to ever start my own little foundation, charity type thing, would be to create urban orchards where like anybody can come in, and if you work for a couple hours, you can take a whole basket full of fruits and vegetables with you. Like everybody helps maintain it, and anybody who helps maintain it and works a little bit, you can bring home food for your family. Like
Hmm.
I like that idea.
It's so
I
good.
have fruit trees in every single yard I've ever lived in that I've planted and eaten off of before I left. I have every single place I've ever been. I've left edible garden, organic that'll reproduce on by itself that I've left. And so I just don't think it's a hard thing. I know, yeah, it would have been, you know what else would have been amazing? Overthrowing the government 100 years ago, but it doesn't mean we can't do it tomorrow. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand the doom and gloom of what could have, would have, should have, but you know what? Maybe we're better than our parents, but maybe they all held us. Even if you had a shitbag dad, even if you had the best dad in the world on Father's Day, at some point they held you once and thought in their head, even if in their drug, haze, beaten, raping mind, because everybody always likes to put the exception to the rule. They held you once and thought, I hope I make this human better than me. And so, can't we all be examples of that?
Yeah.
And yeah, we could have maybe done it 400 years ago, but they didn't do it either. But we can also just do it tomorrow, and we can go and take care of these things now. You can
Yeah.
pour, like everyone, you don't have to wait around for anyone to do it. You could just go
no,
No.
plant a
that's
garden on the empty
even
lot. I know
here.
people that did it all the time.
I'm leaving the people who buy my house like a freaking huge strawberry bed that just gets bigger every year, and then grapevines. So
Yeah.
and plant a tree, but it's
No.
still I left them something to eat.
Yeah, it
Now
matters though.
imagine.
You're like,
It does.
Now imagine like all this control the government has, like even to some of your body parts, say your placenta. Now you think of taking your placenta and you want an apple tree or a cherry tree or whatever tree and digging that placenta in the ground with that tree. Imagine the nutrients that tree will grow for your child, like knowing that it's rooted with that, the life sac of that being. Like people do this, they do a whole ritual
Hmm.
ceremony now, and I think it's so beautiful. But now that the government has a little more control of the birthing situations, they don't do it as much. Now imagine the magic if more women did that and rooted their placenta for their child to grow fruit from.
Well, apparently you can ask for your placenta, but they don't freaking tell you that. Um,
Hmm.
but you can even get it encapsulated and stuff, so you can eat it afterwards because it's full of hormones and stuff too. I mean, it's too much
trying
is too
out
much,
their
but
placenta.
yeah,
Did you
and you
guys
get it
never hear about
encapsulated.
that? Like
Yeah,
people
Yeah,
digging?
I
with the
totally have.
trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think the placenta thing is that is a separate conversation from also I think like you just planting a tree, and I'm not opposed to that part of the conversation at all, but if you already have your child, I think it could be so cool for you guys to plant a tree together. Or if you
Mhm.
don't have any kids, or like you're alone and you just do that for yourself, it's so cool to watch something grow and take care of it and prune it. And like if it a tree will bush. You have to make a tree a tree. It's not, it doesn't just do it on its own. It needs you. It needs human help to produce good fruit.
That's I had so many friends who hated vegetables growing up, but my mom always grew the most beautiful garden, and we it was a family thing. Like we'd go out and she would stake out the area and tell me how deep to plant the seeds, and um we'd have to go out there while she watered the garden every day, and everything that grew I wanted to try it because I helped do that. So yeah, I was never a kid who hated any vegetable. I liked them all because it was so you fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
And not to stop the placenta talk either, because I do think on our farmland, we used to eat and sleep and shit and piss and bury our loved ones and probably bury our placenta. And we did, all of our kids weren't living births. We had a lot of women now that they have had miscarriages or stillborn babies, or like things in between that would have also all been on our land, and that would have mattered somewhere. Like, that is the blood, sweat, and tears of us. And then because of that, I have to believe that our gardens and trees knew what we needed more.
Yeah, they do. Well, that Anastasia book, Ringing Cedars, the Ringing Cedar series, is really good, but it, of course, is Russian mysticism again. But she gets into that, like how when you plant anything, you should use your bare hands. You shouldn't be wearing gloves and stomp it in with your bare feet, like pat the ground in with your bare feet, like hold the seeds under your tongue for, she said, like 3 to 9 minutes, and then plant them, because then your DNA is mixing with that seed, and that seed is going to give you that plant is going to give you what you need to be medicine for your body. And it's like, makes so much sense to me. I don't care if it is all freaking crackpot shit. It makes so much sense to me, because she even talks about how while you're doing it, have your kids join in, and or with your babies, you shouldn't let them play with like plastic toys and stuff. Like, let them play with sticks and weird, like maybe not sticks for a little baby because you don't want to poke their eyes out, but you can find like something that's not going to hurt them, that's natural.
Yeah, like leaves
Look at you
and
guys. We saved Snaggy a little bit. We've added years to his life just by talking about placenta. So
You're welcome.
I'm
come
glad
on.
you're not finishing your Taco Bell. Go make yourself some real food.
Don't they say to eat fruit that grows in the regions of where you live, like eating the
Hmm.
honey from the regions of where you live because it's just coated better with the natural vibes
And
of the
in
realm?
season, eating in
Yeah.
season.
That too. Yeah, true. Huh.
Yeah. But one of the things I was thinking about eating the snails, think of
Ugh.
how clever it is. These snails typically are invasive to something else edible to humans. Like, they usually go after something that are edible to humans. So somewhere, if you were eating snails, you're like taking away something that's also, you know, maybe eating some other vegetation that might be good for you.
Eesh. I couldn't do it.
I know. There's no different. But it's like, the other funny thing is tilapia used to be trash fish, and now
Yeah.
it's nice fish because that's just clever marketing.
Oh, I hear it's still bottom feeder, but for a person who doesn't like fish, and when I have to eat fish, like in prep, tilapia is palatable.
No, like in cooking, like if you in the
They're acting
80s,
like it's bougie now, because I've
no,
always heard it was
like it
bad.
was the trash fish. Like,
Yeah,
nobody wanted it. It was
yeah,
like akin to catfish. Like,
it is
people
though,
were like,
right?
"Oh, no, I don't want tilapia." No one would pick to
Yeah,
cook with tilapia, but it's like, because of marketing, it became this like, "Oh, we can
all
catch
of a
this other
sudden,
fish." Yeah.
I
What
watched
about
it
this other
happen, but
the stomach lining? What is it called? Is it called tripe or
tripe,
something that
yeah,
people eat? Yeah. Ooh,
menudo.
I can't
It's
eat that.
so it's the best hangover cure, menudo.
Oof.
Look at my eyes trying to read chat is like how Layla's camera looks right now.
Was I like doing that? What was I
No,
doing?
your camera's
Oh,
been blurry all
oh,
night. but
Was
your
it?
sounds
Is it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
No, your
guys.
sound's been so great that I just thought maybe it was the computer you were using because it was fine when we went on, but it kind of faded out a little after you came back in when you went out. Remember when you
Yeah.
just fell out? So I just was like, you sounded so good, it was good enough. And I could see enough.
I see it. It's terrible. Holy shit. You guys should have told me sooner.
Hold on. This is one of my favorite things. Let's go. Let's go to YouTube and look at us.
Oh my god, it's terrible. Watch. It's terrible.
I know, but this is so funny because this
Let me
is
take this
how
off.
we create a stream within a stream within a stream.
It's a
Yeah,
portal.
look, that's terrible.
Yeah, but watch when we open up on stream. I'm going to change the timeline right
Portal.
now. Yep, we're going to go into a portal. So, what elite? I hope one of the royals. Yeah, like now it's going to keep happening. Because now on that screen, we're going to go into a portal. And on that screen, we're going to go into a portal.
Portal and that one.
We're changing the timeline.
This is one
I
of the
love it.
gayest,
What is the
stupidest
spell?
things. Let's like one of the royals mixed with a. See, I like the false flags where no one gets hurt. You know,
Yeah.
like where they're like, "Oh my God, we're gonna knock down a whole bunch of bridges." Like the real stupid obvious ones, or it would be fun if somebody got arrested, but can we just yeah, it would be like Hillary. Let me take this down. So because I'm making myself like, oh, hi, back again.
I'm sorry, guys. It will get better. Just give me a month and that's
It'll
it.
get better, just like bullying in high school.
Yep.
Oh, thank you guys for putting up
Come
with me
back
being shot
better.
out of a cannon today. Sometimes I
Oh,
just need to vent.
I love it.
we all need that. I have my. You guys know I have my moments. It's like whoa. What the fuck?
And for everyone out there, I'm very patient with my patients. But when I get here, some of them I'm going to tell you about. And some of them are fucking crazy. And this is another thing, too. Some of us have crazy ideas, and some of us are fucking crazy. And it's okay to make the distinction. Mental illness is different than you being like, I wonder if Project Bluebeam, I wonder how that's going to go down. That's not mental illness.
That's
There
being
is
open minded.
there is
Or
people
maybe
that are
even having a little
mentally ill out
discernment.
there. There is
Yeah.
people that are mentally ill out there, and they also
And they work
sometimes
good jobs sometimes. And they don't seem like they would be the type to be fucking mentally ill, but they're fucking crazy fucks.
this is random, but speaking of a crazy fuck I worked with once. I'll tell you guys a quick story before we head out. Oddly enough, when I lived in Los Angeles, I knew 2 people named Dolores. What are the fucking chances? One of them was a beast, and I called her Deloney. And the other one was a lady who I worked at this job that literally, who knows what the sketchy guy did. He was from like, I don't even know where he's from, somewhere in the Middle East. He had bad hair plugs. His name, you know how sometimes guys' names will be like Shalazala Zing Zong, and they're like, you can call me Kevin. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, okay. I don't even know what the whole thing it was. The name, I don't even want to tell you the name of the company, but let's just say the name of the company was so, like, the name of the company was called Subject Matter. That's how, like, what? Where do I work right now? And so the lady who dictated for the boss had schizophrenia, where she heard voices in her head. Like schizophrenia, where sometimes she would just randomly argue with people that aren't there, bring you into an argument with people that aren't there, like you're trying to do your job. But she was dictating. So this is what I always thought was crazy. She was listening to my boss in her head, typing every word he says with the other voices in her head all the time. And then sometimes I worked with a girl who was like Shaquille O'Neal's side piece. And she would always tell me the craziest stories of the weekend that would like take her on a crazy trip or whatever, like buy her a car or whatever. And then I would tell her a story of like how I talked to my dad on the phone. I'd be like, oh, I talked to my dad today, whatever. So then Dolores, not Deloney, she would randomly in her outburst be like, Shaquille O'Neal and Chaney's dad. Like and it was always like mean fucking shit. Like it always had a mean tone. She was never like when she saw you, she was really like in her normal self. She'd see you and she'd be like, "Good afternoon, Abby," and you'd be like, "Dolores," because in a minute she'd be like over there and she'd be like, "Well, Abby and Shaquille O'Neal obviously don't understand," and you're like,
What the fuck is
what
going
are the voices in her head saying about my dad and Shaquille O'Neal? But
Are
she has
these
earphones
voices
in.
are these voices like her voice or is it other voices speaking in her head?
Other
Because you
voices
know
were
how
in her head.
okay, because we
And
have
then she
our
would have
voice.
yeah, she would have but she actually was diagnosed where like part of her thing, like how if
Yeah.
you're around someone with Tourette's and they're just like "Nyeh, and you're just get used to it. They have a tick or whatever. They're like motherfucker. Like I don't know what kind of fucking shit. But you just get used to whatever people's ticks are. But her
Yeah.
tick was just fucking like the voices would get so loud sometimes, but it was always like they must have been mean all the time because she was always in a mood.
Mm.
And it didn't matter what kind of thing. You'd be like, it'd be something 3 weeks back. It would be like, how did she'd be like, Layla and the Hadiths. You'd be like, what? Because she sat behind me too. Like I had like so every once in a while I just hear my name out of this bitch's mouth. Oh, Los Angeles. What a time.
You know what blows my mind about the voice in your head? Some people don't even have an internal dialogue. And I'm like, how do people not have an internal dialogue? You know how some people have pictures in their head and some people don't even have thoughts in their head. Like they don't hear anything in here. And I'm like, but isn't that a thought? Like, how do you not think? Like your voice is your thoughts. Like, so how are you thinking? But things just are different for them, apparently.
verbal diarrhea? They
Yeah,
just
it's
speak
strange.
whatever.
I never
It's
am not
strange.
I'm actually one of those people like, if we were dating and you were like, "What are you thinking?" Do you really want to know? Like there is always something going on that you'll be like, "What?" Like like I'll be like, "I was sitting here thinking about how the filter gets changed in the water that we drink out of the fridge."
Mm.
I think about
Like
that all the time,
I'm like,
Chaney, at
it
random
makes
fucking times.
I'm like, it makes ice and we drink that
When
ice
was the
and we've
last
had
time
that
somebody changed that
fridge.
filter?
Where is that filter? I
Oh
never
my
seen an
gosh.
instruction manual for it. Like, what the fuck? And so then I go through this whole process in my head of like, is there
Maybe
like
it's
a
under the grill. Is that what you
yeah,
do?
like, but this will just be something that we could just be watching fried green tomatoes, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what are you thinking about? But it could also be like, I'm wondering if Joe Biden has a mask. And if he has a mask, like, is there an actor playing Joe Biden's? It could, and if there is an actor playing Joe Biden's, if let's say there's a white hat, black hat, and you're like, I was asking what you thought of the movie. Like I always, so when people are like, what are you thinking? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, huh, you
How?
must sleep well.
Right? It's a luxury not to have that problem.
I big up it. Fuck. Sometimes
Mhm.
the things that quiet my head, and now I've realized my friends, the louder their brains, the more extensive their hobbies. And I start to notice what things quiet their brains. And I'm like, huh, we're all just looking for a little bit of that peace. It's not happiness. It's not contentment. It's quiet up here.
Peace.
Just a little bit of quiet. Like for me, it is. Like, I'm like, ah, I can't wait till all the world's mysteries have been solved. I need some quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. I
No,
can't
but
wait to
I
find
crave
new
peace. I love
mysteries to
it.
talk about next week. Or Friday with the Secret Society of Good Guys.
Yeah.
Every
Friday
Friday,
night.
every Sunday.
So what else is going on? Anyone in the audience? Anything going on before we?
Yeah. Anything
Anyone?
interesting
Anyone?
happening?
It always takes them like 5 seconds, 10 seconds after here. But
Yeah.
for you guys, anything?
No. In the past 2 days? No.
I just mean, are you doing anything this week? Got anything going on?
Oh,
Are you
no,
doing
just
anything for
work.
Juneteenth? I'm sorry, I wasn't specific. How are you celebrating Juneteenth?
I'm gonna work.
I, I mean, like every day. Like, I'm happy that, everyone's free, thinking we're free,
Jubilee,
but like
baby.
free. Because I don't think any of us are free, but yeah. Freedom from whatever
Freedom.
slavery situations that we had.
Freedom,
Thank
I
God.
won't let you down. Sorry. That would be so exciting. I like think back to the 90s before this. It was one of the people. You guys, George Michael's gay. Yeah, that was one of the people that it was like when it came out. I was watching Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. I remember being a little kid watching women being like, "Oh my God, Wham is hot," and I
He's
was
so
like,
sexy.
"They're homosexual."
I didn't like seeing his chest hair. Chest hair used to offend me so bad as a child. Like, I don't know why, but like anytime I'd see a movie and a guy took his shirt off and I saw chest hair, I was like, oh my God, it's so gross.
Yeah.
I
It's
wanted
like
to say
watching
me
kissing.
too, but I never
They
liked.
do resemble like pubic hairs in a way. It's
It
like
doesn't
you're
bother
just
me now, but like as a child, I was just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Button up your shirt.
I feel like whatever with hair, but like if your back is hairy in places and like I don't know. Don't worry about it, I guess. Just be hairy on your
Yeah.
back.
be you.
What do I care? Be you. Be
Maybe it's
comfortable with the
Yeah.
hair
soft.
on your back. Maybe bugs don't bother you. Maybe it keeps
Something.
cool and yeah,
Yeah.
no judgment. Be a
Whatever.
hairy motherfucker. Just smell don't stink.
Maybe
Just
it
don't
Yeah.
helps your
stink.
intuition.
That's one of my favorite things when I'll try to show her something. Like, I've never seen The Lord of the Rings. Like, I've never seen any of The Lord of the Rings. And she'll be like, me neither, because they
Me
look like
neither.
they stink.
I love her.
Yeah, there's so many like little weird things where I'm like, Summer, just watch this for a second. She's like, whew, I can smell the breath through the phone.
I want her to come back on. Like, it was
I
so great
know.
having her on. Yeah. She
She's
should do a Sunday night.
she's summering it up. Who knows when she'll ever fly through.
Yeah.
I conjured her with Skeet, and she hasn't made mention yet.
Yeah.
Skeet is Summer's pocket pet.
Skeet skeet.
That is a lot to say, a pocket pet. It's like an agregore. It's a more fun version of a servitor would be a pocket pet.
Skeet was a slang word for sperm in New York City. Skeet skeet. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was a yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I was
Or
young
it is.
when it was a thing, yeah. Skeet skeet.
Somebody said like they are Lucy Rose said, I just kind of heard your inner dialogue there, Chaney. Like you said, I'm not gonna go there because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And I don't even remember what I said. That's my short attention span.
Yeah, what
I
did
don't
you
tend to beat around the bush. It's not
I'm
something I'm
sure you
known
do.
for. I'm direct with the bush. I don't beat around it. uh, Harambe did die. That was so sad. But I mean, what was going to happen? Can you imagine if you lost the kid into the Harambe lottery and then they're like, sorry, it's Harambe. You know how upset people are going to be if we kill him? Your kid, we'll move on. Like, the Harambe lottery.
Haram.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Bushes.
changing the draft to that now.
Oh, that's the thing I can't believe we didn't talk about. The
Yeah.
draft got reinstated by Congress, right? Let's look this
Yeah,
up.
but I
Let's
think they're
find
doing
out
Oh
the
it as
yeah,
a
truth.
that's right.
lottery now. It's gonna well, it was a lottery before too, wasn't it? But it's based on your birth date and all this shit. 18
I won't
to
go to
25.
Fox. I'll just pick some random. It's going to be called selective service.
Yeah.
Let's.
That's
So it's is it going to be like civil service? Like our country has had
well,
civil service
it's
in the
always been the
past.
selective service because guys over the age of 18 have always were I thought they were always supposed to register with selective
The
service.
House of Representatives on Fridays passed a measure to automatically register men aged 18 to 26 for selective service. The bill was a part of a National Defense Authorization Act, which sets U.S. military and national security priorities over the next year. This fiscal year of whopping 895 billion has been authorized in military spending, a 9 billion increase from fiscal 2024.
So my brother
So
could get
Drafted. Yeah.
drafted.
My son turned 18 in August and they before this passed and he was automatically like put into selective service. He didn't have to go register. Like every 18-year-old is supposed to go do that. But it looks like they're just automatically like they've already been automatically doing it because they did it to him in
well,
August.
here's the other reason too that it's there, you guys. I don't know if you remember our dreamy little country and president and Congress, they all put up a big, huge Ukraine flag, and that little flaming faggot from Ukraine came over and pretty much told you he was going to take your sons and daughters to war.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those faggot asses, anyone you see with that Ukraine flag on, that shit, I'm not swimming out that far. If you have a Ukraine flag in your bio, I'm not swimming out to you. I'm a
Thank
pirate
you.
there. Like I just am
Thank you.
like, bye. Like bye. There's certain things that I'm just
It's
not swimming
so
out for anymore.
weird that every country fights for themselves, fights for their country, but this country, it's so hard for us to even fathom that we need to fight for this country first. Like, you're from here, you're born here, whatever. Like, you came to this country, you want to become a US citizen, but you don't want to fight for your country, but you would rather fight for a different country. But other countries are fighting for their own country, will never fight for yours.
Well, this is real life for real. Americans, time and time again, and maybe it's because of our guns. Maybe it's because we're really always, most of all, before even the internet and televisions told us not to, most people were really concerned with their backyards. They really were concerned with their neighbors. And there's so many shitty things about America, we all know. But time and time again, for all the wars, Americans never backed ever going into a world war, ever, 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 until a false flag was committed on them to make them do it.
Yeah.
Ever, ever, ever. It doesn't matter if it was Pearl Harbor. It doesn't matter if it was 9/11. All of them have always been done. All the wars, false flag, Gulf of Tonkin, you name the war, I'll tell you the false flag that got us there, because the American people never vote for it. So they need a war to happen so that it can become an act of Congress or an act of so we don't vote on it. We have no say so because we don't back it, and we don't back politicians that do it. That's why they need to give us some big fear tactic so they can have gay ass Bush Jr. go stand out there dopey in the middle of the ashes and tell us, look it, we're gonna go and take care of Saddam Hussein, Barack Obama, Afghanistan, like whatever names he threw out there.
My grandfather was a Pearl Harbor vet and he was on the USS Minneapolis. So he's not on one of the battleships that are named after states, but he was right outside the harbor that day and they were filming a movie. And I think this is why they have actual footage of the kamikazes and stuff like that. But it's like he when you tell sea stories, it would trip me out because he basically said that like they knew it was happening, they saw it coming, like they didn't do anything. Then they chased the aircraft carrier and they could have freaking taken it down. They could have freaking torpedoed the fuck out of it and gotten rid of it, but they were called off. There's so many freaking like we were meant to go to war. That was meant to happen for sure.
Oh, we were just talking about Wag the Dog. And you know how much we love Howard Hughes on this show, and we encourage everyone to go down the rabbit hole of Howard Hughes. You can't have a Wag the Dog fake war movie with planes without Howard Hughes showing them how to do it with Hell's Angels, the movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio in The Aviator goes into it. Oh, we need clouds. We need clouds to prove to them how fast the planes are moving. So then holds off filming for however long, just so a cloudy day could be there, because otherwise people couldn't tell the planes were even in the sky. They just looked like they were
Yeah.
sitting in a. So isn't that so funny that you have the Pentagon always with Hollywood selling us war over and over again, and before all the wars they sell us, because they already know they're going to do it because we're still under the crown, and that's why the UK, United Kingdom, Ukraine, that we're still doing this Russian bullshit, and they want us to be scared. There's Russian submarines off the coast. There's a rogue Russian sub. Go watch the movie Hunt for Red October. You're watching a movie again and again. That's what the point of Wag the Dog is. You guys are always getting invested with playing apocalypse games because it's so much more fun to be black pilled, because maybe we won't all have to go to our shitty jobs that we don't like tomorrow. I actually love my job and don't say it, but I just can relate sometimes to that. In life, I've had shitty jobs, but that's how they locked us all down to begin with. We were all burnt the fuck out, working too hard, letting the government literally stick their hand in our pocket for us to work free once every 3 years, and didn't expect for some point when they said, why don't you guys stay home for 2 weeks, that we all weren't going to take that golden carrot and say, we just didn't know that was going to mean all the corporation coming inside our house. We didn't know Amazon was going to want to get into my trunk to drop off my packages, and now my boss was going to watch me on the computer and be like, you're not at your desk, you're not at your desk, you're not at your desk. It's all so funny that all of a sudden I'm paying for the phone and internet for my work to have me all the time. But we asked for it because we always will give away our freedoms willingly. They will never be ripped away. This is why you need doomers and gloomers to convince you ahead of time, just the same way Hollywood does, to kiss your ass goodbye so you will. And you won't fight for yourself, and you think your voice doesn't matter. So they actually do the job of helping propaganda to remind you that you're not magic, you're just a little ant. But I'm like,
And you're
Go fight
not.
over toilet paper.
yeah, go fight over toilet paper. They're gonna toilet paper you again. And here I am like, what, you guys don't have a garden hose? What are you fighting for?
Yeah, there's water.
That's like people fight. That's akin to people fighting over diapers. You don't know how to tie a hanky around a baby? Come on. What are we doing here? You guys all, what are we going to do if the financial system collapsed? You don't have a skill you can ask your neighbor and trade? Barter and trading is always going to exist. What are we going to do without power? Ginny up, work during the day, be glad sometimes it's not hot as fuck. Like, I don't know. That's just speaking from a Floridian, somebody who actually goes without power and doesn't fear it all the time. It just happens because of storms, and it happens for 2 or 3 weeks sometimes, and there's no murders during that time. Sometimes there's just incompetence.
There's a lot of quiet.
So, I don't know. I just think they got people fear factored. Joe Rogan fear factored. And they got to keep you guys all thinking that there's somebody smarter than you with a bigger account and has read a book you haven't read, that has intuition you don't have, and more money than you. When I'm like, nah, you got it all. We're waiting for you to open your mouth and tell us. You got it all already. Like, stop listening to them. Stop not. Your voice means just as much. The account could be a million. It is so easy for somebody to tip tap type and put that in. Just the same way it's easy to tip tap type your Wall Street and tip tap type your debt counter. Nothing's real.
No, it's
Rick
not.
said if they ever take our food away, we could still eat the Democrats, but most of them are vaxxed. Would you really want to do that?
I also think you could really learn how to fish instead of just using that proverb all the time and being like, oh, I'm using it because I'm teaching somebody how to tie a tie, or I'm teaching somebody how to cook. Teach somebody actually how to fish. Or if you don't know how to fish, you think, oh, it's just sticking a pole in the water. Maybe it's not around your area, and it takes a little bit of technique. And I bet you could feed your family with fishing around your area. If you don't live
Hell
in a
yeah, you
shithole
can.
like Los Angeles where your water's fake, or New York where your water's pumped in from New Jersey. But other than that, well, there's harbors and bays for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another one of the fear tactics. Like, oh, mercury levels. Like, have you not heard that about everywhere? Fish are so tainted by high mercury levels.
They just keep wanting to taint the thing. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They
Yeah.
just keep wanting to they Monsanto everything. They're giving you cancer, all your cancers. That's not even the stuff that the medical industry is doing. That's just all the chemtrails that aren't real and all the
Yeah.
stuff that they're spraying on your fields and all the stuff that the animals are eating are coming from the same fields of the things you are eating. And then we're all in line for Taco Bell because we don't have time because we have to work 1 extra hour this week because the good eggs cost an extra $8.
Yep. Instead of you having your own set of chickens and
Well,
having
here's
your
the other
own.
thing with the chickens, I will tell you. Some bullshit city limits, they'll be like, you can have 4 chickens inside the city limits. Anyone that's ever had 4 chickens will tell you that is where it's not financially feasible. It's like 4 chickens. If you can have a more than four, the more chickens you can have, the more financially feasible the entire thing gets. Where now you're like making enough eggs for because 4 chickens are more than enough eggs for a family, but the finances of how much they cost to feed and house appropriately, some people just let their chickens just do their thing, but we can't here in Florida. Your chickens will be raccoon, foxed, owled. Your chickens will be gone, hawked. Like you got to give your chickens a really safe coop. So the how much it actually like being a person that has had chickens in my life and the amount of work. If you are in a place like I know a lot of great dads out there, happy Father's Day, and great moms out there that they get stuck with the burden of certain animals alone because kids are no longer allowed to help the same way. Kids are totally helpless. Like kids can't do anything alone. They can't stay alone. They can't walk down the street alone. They can't wipe their own butt. They can't do it's like kids have become these little where I was like, gosh, I was babysitting kids at 12.
Yeah. Me too.
Like it's
I
just
was
these kids.
babysitting them younger. It was
Yeah.
not
I was
normal.
babysitting my siblings younger, but
Neighbors' kids, my cousins, all of them, 9 years old, they would all go out, all the parents, and they would drop them up. 9 years old, me watching kids at 9, even younger sometimes. I'm like, y'all are nuts. Y'all are nuts. But they had so much faith in me. I appreciate that. So much faith.
Soldier Boy, you're rad. I don't know. There might be a button somewhere. It I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. Any of I haven't cashed out anything yet. I like if it'll just be for a meetup if we cash out or so we can get cool merch. There's really nothing I need for it, so it's just sitting there like an account. But I'm saying it aloud to you guys right now, just for the YouTube of it all, because I've lost enough accounts now. I will get it before they get me because once they take your account, your money's gone. And it's happened enough that, and it's not a ton of money, but it's enough money we could like get a microphone for who needs it or get some stickers done. So yeah, I know there's buttons somewhere. I don't really we have had a Patreon, but we don't do anything there and we don't want to be pressured to. And so I don't want anyone paying money there. So anyone who is, please stop putting money in the Patreon, but do join it. It's a free join too, because who knows where we'll get taken off of that we have to tell you this is where we're at tonight. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, and just you being here telling someone is awesome, and everything else is I'm I feel rich in my life, so I just appreciate it. And if there is a button somewhere and you press it and money goes here, I will get it out of the account, and it will be because we are going to do a meetup in October, so we will have merch, something cool for y'all. So, anyways,
Yeah,
go
we
ahead.
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we really do. Like, it's nice to be able to vent to other people that feel just the same. Like, sometimes we're just on mic saying the shit that you're like, thank God I said this 10 times today. Like, ugh, it's just a world out there. We all are like living through the collective biggest psyop of all time. That every day isn't 9/11, but there is no way you can't tell me all the 7/7s and 9/11s and Pearl Harbors all added together weren't collectively the PTSD of lockdowns.
yeah.
Not to mention the grandmas that they actually killed on ventilators and things we're not allowed to talk about that are still going on that are really tyrannical. But just the idea of how many kids had stunted development because of adults with masks. Like the atrocity like that we will not see for years to come because of that lockdown. And I just feel like somebody has to fucking be sued for that. If they want it to be by their system, then okay, class action lawsuit. Like these are the kind of things that I'm thinking that we have these voices, there's people here, like let's use the system they've created for us. You want to play maritime? Let's play maritime. Like how many people in a class look at these class action lawsuits all the time that go against Monsanto and Roundup and did you go to Camp Lejeune and drink the water? They always knew it was poisoning you. It makes me nutty. It makes me nutty the amount of people that are dead and then compiled with other things that they're knowingly doing just so you're a permanent patient and we just have to sit here and just like mourn people and we all had to do it and we're all being gaslit about it. So it's like part of that, just you guys being here and validating me, just hearing me, even if you don't agree with me, just being human beings that can hear. I'm a human being just like you are, and we survived that fucking bullshit. And we're still in it. We're still in it. But it was not for the meek. Like, if you are a Christian person, God did not send his weakest warriors to this timeline. If you just believe in source energy or indigo, or if the aliens are coming, it's all because something's weird with this. This. All of us right here, right now. It's all coming to a head. And even if it's just an artificial hologram of a head, why are they trying to convince us the apocalypse is coming?
They are, though, absolutely trying to convince us of that. Look at all the Hollywood movies and all the freaking dystopian novels. I mean, it's totally pop culture and religion and whatever the hell else. Even just politics, even if you're not religious.
That's how I
Politics
see
is
it.
a religion.
What?
Like sports, politics is a religion, just like people's
Yeah.
football teams. Just
It
like
is.
it's like everybody just picks their poison. Everybody picks their poison. That's essentially what our cable television is. You pick your channel, and that's the brainwashing you get. Pick Animal Planet, you get that brainwashing. Pick Fox News, you get that brainwashing. Pick CNN, you get that brainwashing. None of it is there to inform you. Like, didn't like his conspiracy 101. Go watch Kennedy speak. I'm not even telling you to go into my struggle yet. We're not even getting into it. just go listen to Kennedy's speeches. And don't even get me started on Kennedy. I know. And then people will be like, his dad was a bootlegger. And you mean he was producing gasoline in his backyard that ran all the cars back then? And that's why they really made booze illegal, that it really had nothing to do with drunkards, but everything to do with us not being able to produce our own gasoline in our backyard. So now you're telling me I can grow my own gasoline in my backyard, grow my own medicine in my backyard, grow my own fruit, grow my own. What can I grow to be self sufficient? Everybody's waiting for Tesla energy, but we have it. We could grow it all, right? We could do it all. We could do moonshine. I actually have friends that have cars that run on some shit that always impresses me. That's where those hippies got some shit with their biodiesel and they're like, oh, go to the back of any Chinese food place, start your car,
100
drive cross
degrees. Yep.
country. That's when liberals used to be cool and anti things we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But if you are
Yeah.
following us on Rumble or X, big up yourself. Big up your blood clot self.
Hit the like.
All right.
Don't forget.
Hit the like, subscribe, bell, tell a friend. All right. Do you guys have anything else we should fly out of here?
No,
Don't.
can't think of anything right now.
Look at, I'm 75. See how based I am? See, grandmas care too. Childless grandmas are planting trees that they'll never feel the shades of. So if childless grandmas can plant the trees that they'll never feel the shade, if you're a capable fucking person and you call yourself a man, happy Father's Day. You can too.
Yeah.
Period.
And
But not a
maybe,
bloody period.
that might be, I think, maybe drink a little less for everybody out there. I think everybody out there in America, drink a little less. I
I
think it
agree with that.
lowers your vibe. Drink a little less booze. You don't have to quit drinking. Just drink a little less. Take a hiatus. That's what I would say. That's a little advice from your grandma Chaney. All right, I love you guys.
Love you too.
We'll see you Friday. Fuck faces. No, really, I love you. Thanks for listening. And here's Juliette Lewis.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa.
Used to think we knew was constantly explore the view of possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, bigger mistakes, entertaining, calling linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys, good guys.
Bunnies. Hi. Okay, of course she's starving for the most attention because she's the youngest. Give me attention, please. Now, Sarah, you're very stuck up. And you're too cool for school, I get it. Jesus Christ, be nice. Girls, be nice. No fighting.